Welcome back to Watching the Throne on the Late Night Chat Network, episode 90. All right, welcome back, everybody.
You saying 90 is like a mind trip. I was like, wait, 90? Even though you said 89 last week, I was like, 90?
Yeah, 90
Wow.
episodes. Yeah, 90. We're here.
Good for you guys.
We've arrived. 90 episodes. Watch out now. And I guess we'll be ending this season on 91. And like I said, we'll try to come up with some other things to talk about or watch to lead us up to. I figured if we left it at 99 for when the new season comes back, whatever that may be, we can have an episode 100 for whatever new show comes out, right? That'd be interesting.
A special edition.
Yeah. So welcome back, everybody, to the Late Night Chat Network, your first stop for pop culture talk. I'm your host, Nico, aka Targaryen Bastard, here today. And we'll get into why in a moment. Then, of course, we got JT, aka David, here. What's going on, Jay? And, of course, our returning other third co-host here, the Golden Rage, aka Christina. That's right. We're using your real names for the AKs here. What's going on, Christina?
Well,
not much.
Is it a real name? Because that makes more sense. No.
And welcome back to our this is our Game of Thrones recap show that we've been doing weekly episodes to kind of check in and talk about the new episodes of House of the Dragon season 2 that have been coming out week to week. We've been doing the episodes live for a change. We went back, watch all of Game of Thrones this past year that JT had never seen. Christina had been on a bunch for those episodes and basically became the third co-host over the last period of 30 so episodes. I think the last couple of seasons of Game of Thrones, moving into House of the Dragons, that you've joined us on here at this point. So
yeah, it was pretty consistent from season 7.
Yeah, exactly.
Onward,
so it's been a lot of fun, and make sure to go check out the playlist if you guys want to go back and hear us talk about every single episode we've done of Game of Thrones all the way through House of the Dragon. And this is our second last episode of this season. Sadly, it's been a great season so far.
Countdown. And
this episode was called The Red Sowing, House of the Dragon season 2, episode 7.
Nice.
And so this was a good episode, I thought. Christina, why don't you go around the table here and ask us what we thought here? Because Christina, the last few episodes, we've kind of split the difference on the season here. She'll be doing the notes for today's episode, so I'll hand it over to you now.
Yeah. So as Nico mentioned, it's a great episode. Jay, what did you think?
Oh, I enjoyed it very much. I always enjoy. I'm enjoying it all now. It's like cracking a cookie jar or something like that. I don't know how you want to call it.
Cracking a cookie jar. Nice. What the hell is that?
But no, I don't know. I've been really liking them, and trying to figure out. It just leaves you with a bunch of what the fucks, and hopefully, the theories that you have in your head are going to be the ones that turn out, but probably not. I mean, I was right about Game of Thrones, but I mean, we won't get into that right now. But
what were you right about on Game of Thrones? What were you right about?
The tree and the triple.
So, if anybody has seen this show before, there's been a ongoing obsession with the werewood tree there with JT. Not only from the tree that we see in Game of Thrones, but also the tree here in Harrenhal. That tree's different though in Game of Thrones.
Well, we don't care. It's the same style of tree.
But anyways, so JT's obsessed with the trees on this show, and then of course I saw a post this past week that explained that the werewood tree in Harrenhal that has faces on it, they actually drew on a face of George R.R. Martin, the author and creator of Game of Thrones. And they created a face on there for him, which I thought was hilarious. So of course I had to share that with these guys. I'm like, this guy in this tree, I can't believe it. I've never, it seems like whenever you start talking about this tree, For whatever
we
reason,
get
I get updates every week, like to my Instagram of new tree things.
yeah, for sure. Me too.
So yeah, you were onto something. I'll give you that. That's kind of a cool little tidbit that I learned, that George R. R. Martin his face was actually drawn on the tree. That's kind of interesting.
Something that's just drawing me to that tree. It's drawing me again. It keeps doing it. I don't know. We'll see.
And Nico, what about you? What are your
Oh,
thoughts?
I love this episode. This is a fantastic episode. I agree with Jay. I've just been loving this season. It's probably some of the best TV I've been watching lately. I actually don't watch lately. I haven't watched too much new TV. I've reserved myself to very few shows this year that I've been watching that have been new. I've been more so watching movies this year, I would say. But this is definitely has been a treat. It's been fun to come back here and talk out with you guys week to week. And I'm going to be sad when it's over, quite frankly. But, there's always more stuff down the road. So, it seems to have got a lot of people talking and has brought a lot of new fans into the franchise, I feel like. So I'm really excited for the future, which is nice to see and hear, because I know a lot of people were down on Game of Thrones post the last season, right? And even now, I feel like after we had to wait for 2 years for this season, through those pandemic years, whenever the first season came out, it was just like, is this ever going to come back? Are we ever going to, you know what I mean? Like for a second there,
are we ever going to get more? Like,
yeah. So like, I'm really happy with the season thus far. It's been great.
It brought me it made me a fan.
Yeah.
Right? So,
I mean, yeah. But how about you? What'd you think?
Yeah, same. I'm like, this episode was great. I can't believe we only have one episode left for the season.
The goat. What's going on? Yeah.
I but of course, we're true veterans to this whole world. So we know that they're definitely going to leave us on a cliffhanger or something. It's not going to be finished. My prediction, maybe I'll ask you guys this question, but my prediction is like, they're not going to end this war right here, like in season 2.
That was one of my biggest takeaways from this episode. I'm like, oh my God, there's still so much that needs to happen here, and we only have one more episode to do it. Like, that was my takeaway at the end. I was like, holy crap. Like,
well, you said they have how many more seasons? No.
They've definitely signed for 3, like season 3, and I believe they've signed for 4 as well. But I don't know. I'm not 100% about 4, but for sure for 3. So it's just like, okay, like, and I heard when the season started that, they were gonna leave us like in a place in the story at season 2 that they can continue for 3 and 4. So I kind of figured like something was, it's just interesting how fast the pace was for season 1 and how seemingly much slower. And Nico, I know you've mentioned this before, like this season is much more like Game of Thrones in feeling than season 1 was. And I guess it maybe, to me, it's like, it feels like that because of the pacing. Like, we jumped years and scenarios and conversations and things in season 1, and season 2 has just very much been the same tone, but just like really well done, very Game of Thrones-esque. So this episode was like great.
I think the season 1 did that to bring in and reel in people that
what's going on,
watched it, or the generation that maybe had never watched the Game of Thrones or something like that, and maybe reel people in, so the excitement, and then they got to kind of slow it and they do have to turn, if they're going to get signed on again for longer, they're going to have to take it back a little bit. I think it's totally understandable. It's like, watching a pilot episode, but they had a pilot season in a sense. Right.
So just to follow up with what Christina had mentioned, yes, they have renewed it for the 3rd season, which they did mention at the start of the 2nd season once that premiered. But George R. R. Martin had teased that he was already working with the writing team on seasons 3 and 4. So there should be an expected season 4. It should be renewed. I'm sure by the time the 3rd season comes out, you'll have heard news about it being renewed. So I think at most they're probably looking to go 4 seasons with this. At least that's from what all we've heard so far. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, no, I agree with you though. Absolutely. I feel like it's been more in tone here with the Game of Thrones lately, and it's firing on all cylinders. And throughout this season, I felt like you said, because of the pacing, there's a lot of great stuff happening. It really just there's so many interesting things happen, even smaller moments as we went over the last couple of episodes with your millions of notes that you had to take, because there has been so many kind of like interesting nods towards different things that we've seen in whether it's in the history of Game of Thrones show or this show. And they're really now connecting everybody across the realm in a way that they really didn't do in the first season. Like people are coming together now. And yeah, so it's been interesting to see that, so much so that we've been focused on certain aspects of the story that by the end of this episode, I was like, wow, I feel like there's so much more to cover. And they talked about the fact that they wanted to end it on 8 episodes was for, like you said, like for story purposes. Like they wanted to end it there to have it start at a certain point in the 3rd season. So like, yeah, I think we're going to see of them now that they've, what happened in this episode where they got the rest of the Dragon Riders together. I think now that they've collectively have their troops on both sides, like I guess we're going to see the start of the war full force, if I had to guess, in the start of season 3, right? Because like I don't think we're going to get any more of that. I mean, we haven't even concluded the Harrenhal story yet with the Daemon, right? So that might happen next episode. But we'll find out whatever happens with that. It seems like it's coming to a close now.
I feel like that one that might be the battle that gets ended on, because everyone is marching to Harrenhal. Like that seems to be the place that like everybody is going to right now, and that needs to be secured before they can move on to the next, right? So it just seems like that's going to be the next logical step. Maybe I don't know. I hope so, because I can't take Damon and fucking like
I think so.
His hallucinations,
and they're already at war. Like what I meant by war is the full force next season is I think like war with the dragons, because it's all been leading up to this whole dragons. If you have enough dragons, you win the war kind of way of thinking. I feel like amongst the Targaryens, anyways, right? So Jay, what were you gonna say?
I lost my train of thought there when you were talking. No, she said the no more of the hair. No, I think it's going to be a lot more there, and I just believe it will be. I still believe that's kind of where it's ending off. Remember that if you still got 3 seasons, you can't just start going into war with the dragons right away. They got 2 more seasons to tease us with this, and you're going to be ready for a bumpy ride. We don't really even know how many of them actually are gonna, so for say like even with those wild dragons at the end of the episode there. You know what I mean?
Do you guys think it might be possible that they go right up to like Robert's Rebellion?
It could be. That's what I mean. Right where it starts.
I mean,
they can drag it a lot if depending on how many seasons they
get. I to be honest with you, I don't know the timeline of how long this war goes on. I wouldn't think it would lead right up to Robert's Rebellion. No, I mean, it might eventually, in terms of the timeline of the shows, you know what I mean? Like
there's kids in the show.
We might get this as the starting point. Like they may not go any further back than this, and maybe all the other shows that they have planned. Like that other show that's coming, I believe, takes place after this. No, or is it before this?
I think it takes place after.
Yeah. So I think. Yeah, so I don't know if it's gonna go right up to Robert's Rebellion, but maybe there's gonna be other shows that fill in the blanks. Because I know
the Duncan's egg, that just makes more sense, because it could be just the one egg they're trying to survive at that point.
No, I think that's somebody's name, not Duncan's egg.
No, I don't know. I think an egg. You just said eggs. Fuck off, man.
Yeah, the Dunkin' Donuts spinoff show.
There you go.
Look it up.
Unlimited coffee and donuts for all.
I know you rep Tim Hortons on this show there, giving them
I'm just saying, like an egg. Oh, fuck off, okay?
Duncan's egg, yeah, that's.
I never seen the way it was spelled, so okay, maybe I wasn't paying attention. Shut up.
Anyways, yeah, there's so much. There's so much. We're gonna have so much more to talk about, like theories, predictions, like I guess like after next week's episode. But I mean.
Yeah, we'll be reconvening, and don't worry. We'll I think once they wrap up here for this season, for anybody out there interested, make sure you like and subscribe, and you might see some other shows along the way that we've had ideas for doing a few different things or discussions that will be Game of Thrones related. I'm thinking, if anything, we might take the rest of the summer month off here, and then maybe start up again in September. We'll see what happens there, but It's late night at
Yeah.
lunchtime. Oh, Guy, I guess you're where you are. It's lunchtime for you.
That's great.
Bit of a time difference there. Nice.
But yeah, so no, that'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll get to see where it goes on. I mean, I just don't think it's over. We got three seasons, so at least so far to play with it, right? If you're saying he's teasing the season 4, right? So we got 3 seasons still.
Yeah.
So it could take a while to run this storyline.
There you go.
Depending on how many episodes they're going to give per season too. That's another thing.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, I'm waiting to see what happens. I just know if not this show, there'll be another one. Why not? Right?
They are doing another one. We
yeah.
confirmed this last day.
Yes, I know.
At this time next year, we're probably going to see
it.
another show, a different show, before we see season 3 of this.
Oh yeah, I didn't.
Well, they've already confirmed.
Isn't it called like a Night of the Seven something? I think I said the exact same thing last episode.
Well, there's a story, yeah, called that. Yeah,
So-
The Night of the Seven Kingdoms is the book. It's about the Hedge Knight. Yeah,
I think that's the one that they're in production with now.
yeah.
It's
So
coming out in
so
December 2025.
so if that's the case, and
Okay.
they haven't started production of the 3rd season of this, that means that we're most likely going to see that show before.
Ooh. Guy says that there's a show on Nymeria. Ooh, that's interesting. Ooh, I haven't heard that.
I haven't heard that either. That's news to me.
Ooh. So anyone who's watching, all 3 of us, Nico, JT, and myself, we haven't read this book. We haven't read like any of the books actually. Very interested to.
We're fake fans.
Yeah, we're fake fans. But yeah, so no spoilers. If you guys know anything like spoiler wise, like no spoilers.
Yeah, about critical things that are from the books. Like I have come across some differences, let's say, that I've seen posted online of what happened in the book versus what's been happening in this season, and I haven't really brought it to the show just because I don't know if you guys want to know, but there's a couple of things like I think that's just played out differently. But you're gonna get that whenever you see a book versus like
and I've heard things too, like little things like like Rhaenys was a brunette kind of thing, like that kind of thing, like little things like that. Like she wasn't like a platinum blonde.
There's also something I saw about the whole the fact that Alan and what's his name, Adam are in the show are sons of Corlys. But then they're in the book, they said either in the book it was different or it was alluded to at some point that they're sons of the one that was married to Rhaenyra that went off into the sea. That
Laenor?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
So that was, now I hope that didn't spoil something that's supposed to be happening somewhere down the road, but I don't know if the years would match up though. I don't know. I saw some post that said something about maybe that was alluded to in the book, or I didn't really read into it too much, but it said something. Yeah.
Yeah, but how okay, if he was okay.
Yeah, that's why I mean, like, we try to keep it a little bit
How's
more
he gonna have a
spoiler free
kid?
when it comes to the book. But I mean, that would be even something interesting if we actually had read the books and came here and discussed the books, right? But,
that's my goal. I'm gonna read the books.
Hey, I had that goal.
I told you I'd give you $100 if you read it. I'll give you $100.
There you go. Like,
I mean, if you
just
start,
wants
if you,
me to read it.
yeah,
I just was
I'm
gonna
not
do it
gonna start
myself.
reading
I
it
didn't
until
think
you
about
start
that
reading it.
till
If
you-
you start reading it, I'll read it. But that's
Nico be
Let's all
done
read
in-
it together.
It'll take me a
We
year.
could.
It'll take
Circle
me to the next season of
time.
this. It'll take me to the next season of this.
late night book club. There you go.
Oh my
So
god!
stay tuned. Maybe
I
that'll
never thought I
happen. I
could
don't want to
be-
promise anything, but maybe that'll happen.
Yeah, book
When it
club.
comes to JT, I don't want to promise anything.
Yeah, especially when it comes to reading. I mean, I'm doing 21 pages of writing.
Never mind. I mean, I haven't read an actual book for a while too, and nothing with only with pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, yeah, comic books.
I have
About
3
it.
books on the go right now, guys.
Oh,
Come
do
on.
you really?
Got
Yeah,
enough
Yeah,
around
you're
to
still a
read two books.
rabid reader, eh? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I read a lot too. Comic books count too. I know everyone just tries to discount them because they're like, oh,
Of course
there's
they count.
pictures.
All the stuff we got to read at work and this and that. That's all too, man.
JT reads pamphlets.
Okay.
Anyways, okay, I guess we'll get into it though,
Yeah,
eh?
before- yeah.
Christina?
Our listeners want to, our joiners. Let's get into this.
Let's get into it.
Okay. So sick scene to start off with. We're on the
Yeah.
beach. We're with Rhaenyra and her dragon Cyrax and Adam and Sea Smoke, and they're like facing each other. It's like a face off of dragon and rider. It's all foggy. It's amazing. Great visual scene. Rhaenyra announces herself as the queen of the seven kingdoms and is very like aggressive in like, who are you? Like, how did you steal this dragon kind of thing? But Adam immediately bends the knee, proclaiming, you know, he's a friend, not a foe or not an enemy. He's on her side. And she kind of like questions, like, why are you bending the knee so quickly? Like, why are you, you know, why? And he says that he served House Valerian like his whole life, and essentially sees her as the queen. She asks his name, and basically like, what's your name? What's
Yeah.
your parentage? You know, like how are you able to ride this dragon? And Adam says like his mother was a shipwright, and I also learned that a shipwright is a shipbuilder. So I had to look that up because I didn't know what the hell a shipwright was. But his mother was a shipwright, and his father is of no consequence. He didn't openly admit who his father was. He kind of left that
Right.
Oh, so his mother
quiet to her.
Okay.
But then she keeps pressing about his lineage, and he says that his mother's family, they've never kept a record, like it's not something important. He goes by Adam of Hull. So I guess Hull because he's a bastard born in Driftmark.
On a ship.
In that area.
In the
So
Holland?
she's like, "Oh, you've done something I feared impossible. Can you get him to Dragonstone?" She asks him if he can ride the dragon to Dragonstone. He said, "I can try." Kind of cool.
Yeah, and he even said like, this dragon came to me, who am I to refuse him, kind of thing, right? Because she
Oh,
was
yeah,
like, she's puzzled as to how he got a hold of the dragon to begin with, right? Which I thought was a pretty interesting line. But yeah, I agree with you. Like, this is kind of one of those cold openings where it cut right to the scene, right? I feel like it didn't really lead us in like normally like the show does, right? And it kind of
dragons at you and some people talking.
But I agree with Christina. This and one other shot I'm going to mention later on were the best shots of the whole episode. Like that, just seeing the shot of those two kind of at either ends, kind of like facing off against one another, or like, you know, like they're just like staring each other down, kind of seeing, you know, what's happening here, right?
So
yeah, it was
to be that person on the beach.
Sick way to open the episode.
It's also interesting too because Cyrax and Sea Smoke are predicted to be the parents, like the dragons. They're predicted to be the parents of Daenerys's dragons. So it's like these two dragons, like they're obviously very friendly to each other. They know of each other. They know so, and you know, obviously Rhaenyra and Laenor were married. So it's interesting. Like now, it's like because he has a new rider, just the way he was looking at it was like almost like, okay, yeah, we are friends, but it could have gone in a different way if he had a different rider.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's
yeah.
Great way to open the episode, though.
It was great.
Yeah, it was, and you know, and again, they didn't skip a beat. Like from the way that the last episode ended, we found out right away this was him riding the dragon, and yeah, here we go, right? Like this starts off this whole theme of this episode. Now that she gets in her head, like, oh, so there can be other people that are dragon riders that are somewhat related to us or whatever, right? So that you know, that's kind of, you know, the whole basis of this episode. And I gotta say, like, for it keeping it in like within one episode and her getting her 3 riders in this episode, I thought was really well done too, that they fit it all in this episode. I thought, like, you know, some episodes we barely get any not, I wouldn't say any progress because there's always stuff happening, but like to this extent,
not like this.
Yeah, it was really well done.
Oh
yeah.
We knew
they even
later.
Yeah. So it's looking up for Rhaenyra. The next scene, we're in King's Landing. Alicent is getting stitched up in that, I guess, because in that kerfuffle, in the last episode with the riot, she got sliced in the arm. Ironically, the same place where she sliced Rhaenyra. So the Grand Maester is stitching her up, and she's saying to him, like, she spent her life serving her house and the realm, and it was all for nothing to be cast aside. Also alluding to the last episode when Aemon dismissed her from the small council, and seemingly nobody really needing her anymore. She's kind of at a loss and feeling pretty guilty about what's going on, what happened to her son Aegon, her grandson Jaehaerys. Yeah, so Grand Maester advises, doesn't really comment on what she was saying, but just advises, on wound care, how to keep it clean. And she kind of looks away and she's like, oh, nothing is clean here. And it pans over to a shot of the mice eating some food on the table, which is, again, like,
the rat catchers are dead now. The fuck?
I know. Yeah. So continuing on with Alicent, in the next scene, she's leaving her room and she goes up to Kingsguard, and she speaks to Sir Rickard, and she tells him that she wishes to go to the Kingswood, and he's immediately like, yep, I'll get your retinue. I tried to look that up. I don't know what that is, but I'm assuming like an entourage. Like, I'll get like your entourage put together. And she says no. And then he says a handmaiden. She says no handmaiden, only you. And then she kind of walks off, and he looks a little like, okay, and follows her.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah, no, I didn't think too much.
No?
Yeah, I didn't think too much of this. I mean, more interesting things happen with her, and I have a lot of thoughts on where it leads later on. But and even the next scene, I have a lot of thoughts on. But this, not so much. This, I mean, it was interesting. Like, I feel like this was her just basically getting sick of everything that has occurred to her as of lately, and the fact that she's been disregarded by everybody in King's Landing. That's, you know what I mean? Her family, you know what I mean? So I think she's just kind of frustrated by things happening. She's like, I need to get out of here. Although my theory about where she's headed, we can get into later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd like to hear that, because I didn't think about her at all this episode.
I don't even think about you at all.
There was a scene that I was hoping to think about her.
I knew it. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get it. Because I have a comment about that.
I have some theories on the trees in this episode.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
That bush looked very interesting.
Yeah.
They actually lit some on fire. What the hell was that?
The next scene, we're still in King's Landing, but we're Lord Jasper Wilde. I looked up who these people's names are now, because I'm like, I can't be like, that guy. I'm like, that guy. So Lord Jasper Wilde and Larys Strong meet. They're overlooking the courtyard, where some of the Kingsguard are being banished to the wall. Aemond is sentencing them to the wall, and it's revealed that they're being sentenced there justly because they started the riot, which I think we know they didn't, but anyways, like, they're just being punished for it. Jasper, he looks at Larys and he says that he's received a message of great importance. News of the dragon sea smoke has been spotted, and he has a new rider. At first, Larys doesn't really seems playing like he's playing it cool, calm. He questions if this news is for Jasper to make favor with Aemond, but Jasper says that it's actually he's bringing it to Larys, for Larys to tell Aemond, because he is the master of whispers. And anyways, yeah, so they're just going back and forth, and then Larys asks like who the rider could be. They kind of question who it could be, and Jasper believes it could be the Lady Rhaena, as she is dragonless, but Larys immediately disagrees and discounts it, saying that sea smoke nearly devoured her when she was 10 and 4 or 14. So then Larys asks him, like, where did you hear this?
Yeah.
I'm sure he's just taken aback now because it's like how he's the master of whispers. How does he not know this before Jasper does? And Jasper says he heard it from his squire, who heard it from the stable hand,
Like,
whose
okay.
father is a fisherman, whose ship lead saw it.
Like,
And so Laris advises Jasper to bring the news to Aemond himself, or to leave this rumor or this whisper to the wind. So, but as Jasper leaves the scene, like Laris is kind of looking a little concerned about this. So,
yeah,
I thought this scene was good and interesting for the reason being that you kind of, like you just said, like the whole broken telephone thing, you kind of get to see how word travels through the realm here in this scene, where like I think like having watched Game of Thrones, we took that for granted whenever Varys or whatever would get like information from his little birds and stuff like that. But in this, they actually take a moment, and Laris is new with his whole Master of Whispers like official title, so it was kind of interesting to see that here it's kind of spelt out for you. Like, I heard it from this guy, I heard it from that guy, I heard from this guy. And like, obviously this is not where they can pick up a phone and be like, hey, did you hear the rumor? You know what I mean?
it felt like that.
You know,
there's a little bit less, wanting to fucking take that.
You know,
you could tell him yourself.
Yeah. Well, that was because he's afraid of him. That's strictly why, right? I think he's already he doesn't deliver him any bad news, given that he's a bit of a hothead and he already doesn't like him. We know this already. So I think that's why he's like
trying to
that. Yeah.
you tell him like, I'm good,
But I did like how it illustrated how word travels through, like, you know what I mean? That was kind of interesting. And I was like, yeah, I mean, clearly that's how we assume these things happen in this show, but to actually have someone spell it out to you and be like, this is how I got this information, I thought was interesting.
Yeah. So that's that's then the next scene, we're back on Dragonstone, and Jace is on the balcony. He's looking out over the ocean, the sea, and he sees Rhaenyra and company returning to Dragonstone. So I dropped the ball on this guy's name because I didn't look this one up. But the next scene,
I didn't catch it either. Yeah,
we're on Dragonstone, and we're now with the I guess the Black or the Red Council. A Kingsguard walks into the room and says that Rhaenyra has returned unharmed. The same kind of like grizzly old man like that Rhaenyra slapped last episode. I don't know what his name is, and I should have looked it up. Anyways, he asks like, what of the rider? He's very concerned about the rider. Like, who is this person with due cause? Like, who is this person? And the Kingsguard guy says, he's a shipwright on Driftmark, someone who works for Corlys. And Corlys is kind of taken aback, like, who the hell could this be? Like, okay, that's interesting. Then this old man, sorry,
which son is it?
yeah. This old man, he's obviously upset that a lowborn has stolen a dragon. He just assumes that this guy stole the dragon.
Yeah,
and asks where the thief is now. But the Kingsguard says, Rhaenyra has invited him to stay on at Dragonstone as a guest. He's to be taught dragon riding skills and a little of the High Valyrian. And then of course this old man like gets right upset and says like, this is unacceptable. We can't have like lowborns like just assuming they can take dragons,
right.
And this doesn't look good for them, which I understandably, like, I get it, right? But anyways, he asks what Corlys's opinion is as Hand of the Queen, and Corlys basically says that they'll wait for the Queen's word before passing judgment. Then they go to convene, but Jace asks like where Rhaenyra is, and the Kingsguard says that she's excused herself from the meeting, which doesn't make
I was gonna say,
was it that guy?
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
Yeah, so that guy is Lord Bartimos Celtigar. He's the Lord of Claw Isle, and he's got distinct ties with the Targaryens as they're another noble house with Valyrian blood.
Okay.
So there you go. Yeah, because there's also another older dude, but I don't think it was this guy because I remember
No,
this. He's the
it's
Lord of
that.
Brooks Rest, the other good dude I'm looking at right now. So it's
Okay,
it's
no,
this
it's
guy.
that guy. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
Interesting. Okay.
yeah. So, and then at that point, the council just convenes their meeting, but is scene cuts. So
Jaceres was awfully whiny once again in this scene. Like he needs to put a sock in
what was
it.
it?
Some of
He
these.
was like whiny and handsome. Like is that
Yeah,
meme?
that's right. That meme that I say, yeah. Like honestly, like you know what I mean. Like I kind of gave him credit for him negotiating that deal a couple of episodes ago on the bridge there. But like it seems like every opportunity he gets, he's kind of whining to his mother about one thing or the other, not being happy with what she's deciding to do, the direction that things are going. Like
It happens during puberty, bro.
well, yeah, but she keeps throwing it in his face too, being like, "Well, what do you have to offer? You're unskilled and like, yeah, you can barely ride your dragon, and like, you know what I mean? Like get out of
Yeah,
here."
they seem to have the same conversation over and over again. Like again, they
Yeah.
have the same conversation later on this episode. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, like
Oh, she said to be
he's
a
not
protective
happy. He's
mother.
just like he's just
You
a
can see that too. She's being
sorely
protective,
child.
even though she's trying to make it look like it's a protective thing. When it's you don't really have. You gotta relax, buddy. All you got is that look on your face.
I mean, the way they keep building this up, though, I feel like he's
That's
gonna
fair.
defy her at some point. The way this is going,
Could happen.
He
right?
does allude to it. He does make a comment about that, like
Yeah, you're
in
right.
their conversation later. So, I
Right.
mean, he'd be dumb to try it, but he's not wrong. But
You know,
How dumb would he be? We'll get to that
He's-
after.
you know who I see a little bit in him, a little bit of Rob here. I feel like you know what I mean, Mr. Know-It-All.
Ooh.
No, seriously, I feel like there's a little bit of Rob in this character. Rob
Wait,
Stark.
are we talking about like Rob Stark? Or are we talking about
Yeah,
Rob?
Rob Stark.
Okay.
It's all in the
Yeah, Rob, our co-host on Late Night
That's what I was
Chat.
gonna say. I was like,
I never heard.
co-host?
Pause for
Like,
a
I'm
second.
like,
I had to pause for a second.
No,
I
Rob
just
Stark,
did a
yeah,
show
for
with him.
sure.
Yeah.
Total hothead.
yeah,
can do
like Mr.
this.
Know-It-All,
Yeah.
and it's got the mother dynamic as well between the mother and him, right? Where no, I'm just saying there was a whole part of that where he didn't listen to her.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like there was times he listened to her, but then other times he didn't. That didn't end very well.
Mm-mm.
So,
Yeah, it happened. It's Hercules. I don't know. We'll have to see where it goes, right?
That's why everybody listen to your mothers.
yeah, that's the moral of the story. There you go.
You're not wrong, man. I mean, really. If I was 20 years ago, fuck, I wouldn't be sitting here today. Sorry, guys. Love you all. Next.
The next scene, we're still on Dragonstone. We're with Rhaenyra and Mysaria. They're speaking. I think they're they're either in the library or they're in her quarters. They're somewhere like in Dragonstone. I can't remember.
Remember those fucking rolls of paper.
Yeah, so they're in the library-ish there. Mysaria is saying how lucky, Rhaenyra is. But Rhaenyra, like with this new dragon rider, but Rhaenyra sees it as like an act of the god more than luck. She's like, it doesn't feel like luck. But is stumped like that Sea Smoke chose Adam versus Adam claiming Sea Smoke. She doesn't understand why that happened. And now it's making her think about, this bloodline thing maybe a little differently, or she's trying to figure out like, there's got to be something else that she's missing. So she begins to scour the wall of scrolls for other potential like Targaryen highborn riders. But Mysaria is just standing there like chuckling, like suggesting that Rhaenyra would have better luck looking under the sheets than in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Mysaria suggests that there are thousands of lowborn potentials with highborn blood who have more reason to fight with Rhaenyra than not. Basically saying, lots of the Targaryen kings and highborns like visited the pleasure houses and basically resulted in lots of illegitimate children. And Rhaenyra basically is like, well, what about like there's fealty and loyalty in kin and with the highborns, and Mysaria points out the fact that like, look, Aegon and Aemond are your half brothers, and they yeah, they stole your throne, and they're supposed to be loyal to you, and they're not. So what does that have to do with anything?
Right.
So Rhaenyra thinks on this, then says, for 20 years the men of the realm insulted and questioned her sons,
That's right.
right? So
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
basically will raise an army of bastards. I guess
Yeah.
she's agreed to.
She's kind of damaged by the fact, like, you know what I mean? Like by like you said, the ridicule that she experienced. So she kind of she looks at it as a bad thing, the whole bastard kind of aspect. And she kind of was like, no, you should use this and let it empower you. The fact that you can actually, yeah. So she was looking at everything the wrong way. Like, this is where she's like she totally changes her whole approach and way of thinking over this last 2 episodes, because she's like beside herself, I feel like, at this moment in time, because she was at like her lowest point, I feel like, in terms of her support and direction and what she was going to do. And she's like struggling to stop the war. But then, obviously she's triumphant at the end of this episode, like kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, has this great moment at the end. And is this where she says Viserion? Is it this scene where she's like, I don't even know what to think anymore, because this whole time I'm thinking differently. I don't know anything about this dragons like I thought I knew, right? Like, after like she discovers this thing. Yeah, because
I think this is true. Because she's always thought, I think, and that's like been what was written and what was told, was that it was the riders that had like Targaryen blood. Targaryen blood, specifically Targaryen blood, that that were able to be dragon riders. Well, if Sea Smoke, the dragon, chose somebody, that's never happened before, and this person that he chose is of lowborn ancestry. Like, we don't know who the hell this person is. Like, he's not of Targaryen blood, but like we find out later with Corlys and whatever, that it's not about the Targaryen blood specific. It's about the blood of Old Valyria, that area.
Right. So yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, it kind of changes up her whole way of thinking, like what she discovers here, and like, after following this thing her whole life, or at least an understanding of it, and then to turn around and realize they were wrong about a whole bunch of things, it's kind of interesting, right? So
she has a lot to think about. Like, I mean, really, too. What are the choices she have but to look down and try to figure out what the hell's going on? He's got a dragon now, regardless if anything. Right at the end of the day, but
so yeah. Next,
Corlys meets with Alan, I think. Yeah.
I was just reading the comment from Guy.
I didn't see that. Sorry.
He just posted. Yeah.
All the new riders have bloodlines that go to their dragon's previous rider.
I'll get into that. Like, I'll make comments on that as well. The next,
nice,
as we go on. I don't know if you guys know this, but yeah, we'll talk about it as it goes at the end of the episode. So yeah, the next scene is Adam inspects his room. I guess, as a lowborn, he's never been in a room like of that nature. He's never been a guest in a castle, I guess, before. But Corlys joins him, greets him. Adam immediately asks for leave as of his duties as a shipwright, which kind of go hand, like, it's kind of like putting in your resignation letter, formally. And Corlys is like, yeah, man, no problem. Like, yeah, sure. Yeah.
You didn't even have to ask, seriously.
Yeah. And then instead of like saying anything, he doesn't know what to say to him. He just says, well done, and then leaves the room.
So I wanted to ask you guys what your interpretation of this scene was, because I very strongly feel like a way of what occurred here. Like, I don't feel a way, but I think I know what this scene is about, but I don't know if everybody interpreted it the same way that I did. Do you have any ideas about what the scene was trying to illustrate?
He was trying to get some appreciation, I think, a little bit, in a sense.
No, not so much. Yes, but that's not what I'm trying to get at.
Okay.
Christina, did you take anything from this scene?
I think it was more of just like Corlys wanted to like know who it was, And then when he recognized or found out who it was, he didn't know what to say because he's so awkward around these people. Like he doesn't really acknowledge them, but he does and he doesn't. More Alan than Adam. I don't know. Like I think it was more like, okay, now I know who it is. I don't know what to say. I'm just gonna leave.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you guys are both right in that sense. But what I was trying to get at was what I took from it was that that Corliss, the way he makes that like noise, like he's like he says he's like, oh, you've done. He's like you're coming up in the world, you've done well for yourself, type of thing. He's impressed. He's impressed that despite him abandoning these bastard children, that look at where he is now, like a dragon rider. The other kid saved his life. I think he's turning a corner in terms of like realizing I messed up. Like, look at these kids. I tried to disown them. I acknowledge that these guys were my children, and yet here they are. And I did not have anything.
Man, father. If that's what you think it is, like
that's what I think.
Very possible.
That's what I think.
He's impressed that he did it without him.
Because it's just the way he commented that he's like, oh, look at you, kind of like coming up, look where you are now, kind of thing.
He doesn't have the white hair.
And he even went, he's like, like he made like kind of like a hump, like kind of like noise.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Oh, my help! Like I'm surprised.
That's
fucking dicks.
That's right,
Fathers
right?
Dicks,
you see, I think I'm right. I think I'm right on this. I think that's kind of what he was taking.
Me and Nico have two different daddy issue things, but we're good, man. That's right. So,
no, I mean,
I totally get it.
That's what I got from if you think about it. I think that's what this scene was trying to illustrate. That's why he was kind of like, oh yeah, whatever you need. Yeah, he's like, no problem. Like, and then he kind of made it very short and kind of was like, like he kind of was just like, I'm impressed, kind of thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like
expecting it from, and the other one he was like, I didn't think you were gonna do it.
Right. I didn't think you had it in you, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like something like that. Like kind of like a more of a. I don't know.
Cockiness.
Maybe I don't know. Like I don't have the same daddy issues that you guys do, so I don't know. I don't know.
I'll trade you. Fuck.
No,
Sorry.
No, I'm. No, but I think that's what he was trying to say.
Yeah, for sure. He was.
Okay,
he was trying to
maybe
he was impressed in some way, but he's like, not saying it.
I find it
like
you
like
guys
Allison. This one went right over my.
Well, I just think that you guys both focused on what Alan was thinking in this scene, while meanwhile I was focused on the Corliss part of this scene, because I think Corliss, spoke more to what he was very subtle about. I feel like his feelings in this moment.
Well,
you know what I mean?
This was easier to hide this one because he didn't have the white hair. The other one was a little harder to hide if he's growing the white hair underneath it, right? With the bald head, a little harder to hide that type of son, right?
Oh, I'm sure. I feel like we haven't.
There could be all kinds of shit coming out of this stuff, man. This whole episode, there could be a lot of stuff coming back.
I mean, also both of them now are on opposite sides of. I mean, Alan's a dragon rider. His other son is sorry, not Alan. Adam. Sorry, and Alan's on the boat. You know what I mean? So it's like
they can fucking take over.
He's got two sons. Like,
so who cares about his daughters now? That's what he's trying to think in his head. He's like, right, I finally got sons, man. They can eat.
It's not only that, he has sons he can be proud of now. And does he tuck his tail between his legs and acknowledge them more now to everybody else?
We'll have an episode coming up probably next season called Daddy Issues or something like that. Then we'll find out, guys.
Daddy Issues, dissecting the relationships in Game of Thrones.
Right. So
I would get fucking really
because if you think about it, there's still
down.
People aren't liking the bastard title at this point in time on the show. By Game of Thrones, they're like, yeah, that's my bastard. You know what I mean? Like everyone's got one. You know what I mean? Like,
it's like a norm. That's my dad.
No, it's true. Every lord's got a bastard son. I mean, Battle of the Bastards. How do you think that came? Right? It's just like everyone's just got these bastards. But like at this point in time, it's still like people don't want to like acknowledge them.
Maybe that's why all the Targaryens were visiting the fucking whorehouses, man.
Just they all did. All the highborn lords did.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
I just don't think it's that. Not that it's great later on either, but it's right at this point in time. Like I feel like I I don't know, it's still still tainted.
Yeah,
This
it's
whole
more
last
like hush hush because even
yeah,
like Aegon has a bunch of like bastards, like, and nobody like acknowledges them. They're the kids that are like in the fighting pits,
I forgot.
so it's like even Aegon has like bastard children that like nobody wants to acknowledge or nobody wants to talk about. Like
right.
it's
Those ones are crazy
anyways.
too, man. They don't need dragons.
Anywho,
They have teeth.
wow. Okay, I didn't know that. Interesting. We will dissect further. Next scene, we're back at Harrenhal. Woo!
I was like, yes,
Um,
the rest of the episode is going to be Harrenhal just for Nico, but no, I guess not.
yeah, this is a pretty like big scene in Harrenhal. Like this took up, I think,
Yeah.
more than like at least half the episode. Like it was pretty big.
This was good.
It was a trip.
Yeah.
This was good. This was good.
Yeah, so it looks like the Tullys have arrived to meet with Daemon. And from the last episode, Daemon summons the Tullys to come now that Lord Grover is dead. He summons to speak with the new Lord Paramount, Oscar Tully, and so they've arrived. So Oscar has brought the lords of the Riverlands also with him, but he meets with Daemon privately first. So Daemon offers his condolences on the passing of his grandsire, Grover. And Oscar quickly is like, are you sincere this time? Are you sincere with this? Or, so like I have to say, I totally did not capture all the wording and the verbiage in these scenes. Fantastic. The conversation back and forth. I didn't capture all of it, but it was like so good. So good.
Oscar is now officially the sassiest character on there.
Oh, he flipped the
Sass
switch, man.
McGass over here. He's
Yeah,
he's like I'm surprised David didn't kill him in
Yeah,
these moments.
At the end of the day, yeah.
Because he needs him. That's why he
I
didn't.
know, and that's what
needs
makes
him.
it so good. These scenes.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
He has
he's
to
a young
swallow his pride, like and be like, "You bastard."
But I think Oscar knows it, man.
Yeah.
He's smart enough to know it when he'd want him to kill his fucking grandfather.
I
He's basically saying that.
The comparison that was going on around online, Jay, because I shared this with Christina, I'm sure she saw that too, was to what's her name, the little one from
Lyanna Mormont.
Lyanna Mormont, the one from that's with Pedro and Last of Us. Yeah.
People from Bear Island.
Well, they're just comparing them to like young lords essentially that know how to talk, right? Because like this guy kind of it's funny because the last time we saw him, he was kind of reserved. Yeah, he didn't want to really do much. Now he's like his uncle passed away, his father passed away, or whomever, and he's just like, was his uncle or his
grandfather?
Grandfather. Yeah. He just shows up. He's got a whole new attitude.
Well, it's I think kind of
because even
when Damon started off there, he said he quickly flipped a switch to go and say congratulate him at the same time. Like you say one sentence, and the following sentence you say. Yeah, but congratulations! Now that you're the new, Lord Paramount.
Yeah,
right?
he very quickly switches it up exactly, and he's just like basically like, okay, so now that you're the Lord Paramount, you need to make a decision on who you're supporting, and it better be us, and blah 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 blah. But Oscar very quickly snaps back, and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, like. I thought I'm too green as you put it last to make and too young and impressionable to make this decision.
And Damon's sitting there with his shit-eating grin as he normally does. He's like, well, you were of no use to me last time I saw you. Now you are. So welcome to the club. You're going to support me now. Like,
It's a decision to make. Now hurry the fuck up, basically.
Yeah,
I just loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, Oscar is basically like, especially like, how is it hard? I can't make this decision. Like, you've made such a mess of like the Riverlands, like with your decisions, like, as a messenger of the queen, like, how can I fully wholeheartedly support like the queen with your whatever anyway. So Daemon basically like presses him about his like support, and Oscar obviously concedes basically like, I'm a riverman, like river lord, like we hold true to our word, we hold true to our like oaths, and so we recognize Viserys's heir. My grandfather like bent the knee to Viserys and Rhaenyra, so I'm going to continue that. and that's
He was like
whatever.
nervous.
But they will hate you, is what he says.
Yeah.
He's
Yes.
like, yes, we will bow to you
Oh,
because
yeah.
we follow Rhaenyra, but they will hate you.
Yeah.
Like he's just
He's
like,
Yeah.
I have no allegiance to you. Like he made that very clear in this scene. He's like, I don't like you. I don't like what you're about. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and David just has to sit there and take it, right? I don't like how Damon's getting pushed around in this season. Like, he's kind of getting led by the you know what I mean? I don't like how everyone's like messing with his mind and like pushing him this way, pushing him that way. I don't like seeing my boy like this. Okay, they're massacring my boy.
Tell him to get in line. Tell him to
Oh man,
get in line.
yeah.
Those
Yes,
women
anyways.
got together and called him a fuckboy last episode. Enough of this already.
I said even when I wrote down, I said we're back to Harrenhal, Nico's favorite place.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate it all. I've accepted it.
I've accepted it.
Well, I didn't think we are gonna spend all season there, but now we're like one episode to go. Okay.
But there's still a lot of Harrenhal to see, man. I hope it continues to be like this. Interesting place.
So, like you guys.
It's like
what? Sorry.
It's like Alice in Wonderland. There's sheeps, everything, and all that.
You're like Alice in Wonderland down the rabbit hole over there of your tree theories and your friggin' Harrenhal theories. I'm sick of this.
They're all holes.
Sorry, go on, Christine.
It's okay. Yeah, so like you guys said, like basically Oscar's like, like sure, the River Lords will follow me, but they'll hate you and whatever. Damon's like, I don't need their love, I just need their swords. And at that moment, Sir Simon interrupts them and basically says the River Lords are getting antsy. You gotta meet with them. Like they're waiting for you. So they go out into the courtyard where this weirwood tree is.
Thank you. I forgot. I was hoping you.
And all the River Lords are there. Oscar welcomes them. Makes a speech saying, I know you all followed my grandfather. I hope that you all follow me. And she's just making a really like welcoming speech. And then Damon immediately starts stating facts. He's like, Grover Tully is dead. Oscar Tully is now Lord Paramount. He has bent the knee to Rhaenyra, so you all must, you must answer his call and raise your banners and support me. He says, and support me. So you must swear allegiance to him, basically. And then one of the River Lords, Lord Piper, he speaks up and asks Oscar like why they should trust him. He's a boy and he has little judgment and she's just young, right? But Willem Blackwood, who we've seen previously, was very close with Damon. Damon sends him on that little mission a couple episodes ago. Willem Blackwood speaks up in defense, basically saying that the Bracken traders, he's brought the Bracken traders who I guess bent the knee to the Greens previously. He brought them to this council because they yielded to the Blackwoods and the Tullys and Rhaenyra. He brought them to this meeting to answer for their crimes. Oscar agrees that there is much to decide, but one thing is clear. He didn't make the decision out of love for Damon, basically the decision to follow suit with Rhaenyra. But he's simply following tradition and loyalty, no matter how disgraceful her messenger is. Oscar then calls Damon Prince.
Yes.
And then Damon's like, king, like watch your tongue, boy. Oscar walks up to Damon, basically squares up to him and asks if he'll have their armies or not. Like, because I guess Damon's, I don't know, like again, like I just very like quickly was going through the wording in this episode was fantastic. Like the conversation was great. Damon,
do you have some quotes? Do you have some of them there? Yeah, here, go ahead.
Do you? Oh yeah.
I'm just trying to read through because it's jumping a bit, so I'm getting lost on where I wrote it because
Well, if you come across any, feel free to let us know.
Yeah, please.
I'm trying to keep up with No, I don't have any right now. I'm trying to keep up with you. That's all.
Okay. So Damon addresses the River Lords and admits that he was a tad enthusiastic in his pursuit of collecting the Brackens. But that that shouldn't persuade the River Lords to not believe in or join forces with Oscar as an upstanding young man.
Yeah.
So yeah. One of the river ladies, she says that they honor the old ways and justice is to be done. And then looks at Willem Blackwood. But
Mhm.
he, in defense, says like, oh, justice has already been done. Like the Brackens, who originally sided with the usurpers, have yielded, and they are now united in the Riverlands to their liege lord Oscar and the king consort. You know, he lays, and then he walks up to Oscar and puts his sword down, and again swears allegiance to him and whatnot. Oscar obviously accepts that justice.
He has no love for Damon.
Oscar, what is it? What does it say here? Oscar accepts that justice was done, and he accepts the, I guess, fealty of the Blackwoods to him again. But he says that, you know, really there is only one way, one answer to deal with justice for all of the acts.
Yeah, denounce your crimes and dispense justice, he says to him. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
yeah,
David has to go in for the kill, essentially.
yeah, William tries to defend himself, saying that he only did what Damon asked of him to do, but Oscar agrees. He's like, yes, like you say you did do that because you did follow through with what Damon asked you to do, but you also acted on desire in excess because you wanted to. Like you didn't have to go as far as you did, and you went farther than you should have.
Yeah.
No, it's just the way even that Damon had was looking at that guy beside him too, and all that you know, even when Oscar was talking, he was like, "What the fuck is this kid doing?" It's almost like he's trying to fuck everything up, right?
Well, that's why he's kind of beside himself, this guy, because he doesn't know what he did. Like it went, it got, you know, it went from one moment, no, it didn't seem like there was a big issue. The next, they were like, kill this guy. You know what I mean? Like it was just, yeah, he really switched up. But I think that was more so to make Damon have to do something that he didn't want to do in that moment and kill him, right? Like I think it was more about that to show his power now. Like I'm if you want my support, then you're gonna follow my orders, and I want this guy dead as a result of what occurred here that I don't agree with, right?
Yeah,
like,
there's a lot. I mean, like Oscar has to he has to prove himself worthy of his new title to all the River Lords right then and there.
It's a bit messy what's going on here. Yeah, it's
for sure. But he also has to tell Damon, like, I'm not a pushover, so like don't even try it.
That's
and you know, you're gonna I think this is also like a way for like Oscar to be like, you're gonna pay for the crimes that you committed, like by proxy of this person, like on my land. Like you don't own this land. Like this is not yours, and you went ahead and did whatever you had to do.
Yeah. But you know, I wrote that too at the end there when he pulls out his sword and he does what he has to do, right? You just see the chopping down, right? You don't see the head come off, so you don't know.
Oh my God, Jay, he's chopped his head off.
No. I
think this whole thing's a trip because the next scene it flips right to a tunnel.
I have a note here as well on this. I actually agree with Jay on this. I wrote weird kill swing of the sword in this scene. That's what I wrote down because it seemed very weird the way they kind of put that scene together. I thought they were what I thought was they were gonna pan away and you're gonna find out he killed somebody else. Like I thought it was gonna be like he's tripping right now and he killed like somebody he wasn't supposed to kill.
Well, leading into the next scene, it's kind of like he was
I don't know
for somebody that died in that sense too.
I agree with him. The way it was shot was weird. Like I don't know if that was
he was even awake.
Yeah, I don't know. I hear what you're saying, Chris, because like it all leads up to a logical conclusion of him killing that person. So maybe we're reading into it a little bit too much at this point, but the way it was shot was weird. Like the way and you're right, the way he felt the sword on him was odd. Yeah. And you didn't see it. So then and then it kind of
woke up to a knock.
Yeah, I don't know.
In the beginning,
the arrangement of everything, I agree, was odd.
Yeah.
But I agree that he had to assert his dominance, that like Oscar guy. Like I get why he did it if that is really what we witnessed here and what occurred. But whether or not Damon actually killed that guy, I don't know. It's strange. You don't think so, Christina? You thought that was pretty straightforward. That
To me, yeah, because it's like because it needed to happen. Like all of those things needed. It's not like Damon is like making it up in his head. Like I feel like it needed to happen because in order for them to have the banners, like with all the houses in the Riverlands, like Damon needed to do this to prove himself to them as well. Like it's kind of like it's like a give and take. Like you have to give something to get something. And Damon obviously wants their men for their war, right? But it's like they're not just gonna blindly, they're all about justice, they're all about loyalty, they're all about like oaths and virtue and all of that. So it's like he has to do something. Like this guy obviously ransacked the I don't know. It just seemed very just straightforward to me. He's tripping balls for sure. He's totally
that all
tripping.
makes sense though. I agree with you there. That all makes sense. Like this, but I just keep thinking we're gonna cut to a scene where you're gonna find out this guy's been by himself this whole time or something. You know what I mean? Like it's like I don't know. I don't know what's
this
gonna
whole
happen.
sequence of Damon right now. He basically wakes up at the end of this. You know what I mean? He didn't really wake up in the beginning. He just was. You heard the knock on the door. You didn't know, like that was all it was because he was in his head. He was down like this, thinking, right?
Or they're just purposely shooting, like making some of the scenes look odd because he isn't well. No, or just to subvert our expectations and be like, oh, what's going on here? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Because I think it all tracks. I mean, I agree with you, Christina. Everything makes sense that occurred in this scene. It's just like the way that
happening fast,
and we both thought it. So it's not like we didn't talk about it. It's not like we both kind of like it was. I just thought it was weird, however that happened there. But I also put here like I think it's interesting. Like if Damon didn't push so much on the fact like you need to follow me, blah 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 blah. Everybody in this world knows, in terms of like ranking, like who they need to listen to. Like, I feel like they already all know that they need to listen to him, but he needs to represent himself as a representative of Rhaenyra, but he's not doing that. That's where I think he's going wrong with these guys. Like he continues to say, you need to listen to me. And it's really like, I'm speaking for Rhaenyra, which he doesn't do. I don't think anybody in this world doesn't know. Like they all calling him King Consort. They know that they have to follow what he's saying. I think the fact that he's such a dick about it doesn't help his cause, right? Like,
no, of course not.
Obviously, when it comes to the sequences that you see coming up next, you're gonna. I mean, you really it can solidify your thing, but it could also mess with the theory that it's not really happening as it's playing out right now. In a sense, because even at the end of the scene that's coming that you're gonna talk about next, is he looks off when he's just looking. He just doesn't look like him. So
he's we know he's exhausted. We know he's like sleep deprived. We know he's hallucinating. Like there's all these things. Like so, I never thought that, but that's interesting. So I guess we'll find out next episode. Like I'm assuming they're gonna put a cap on it next.
It's a really good writing if that's the case, and it's making people think 10 different things at once, man, which is the way it should be. Right? It keeps
I don't know. So I guess we'll see.
Right.
But like the next scene, we're still with Damon and Harrenhal. He's walking down the hall, and he's walking up the stairs, and he comes like there's a black goat, like kind of in the distance, which to me symbolized like death or the devil.
Before, remember? Like, I mean,
and he's seen that goat before. But that to me just symbolizes maybe the Catholic in me is just like it's a symbol for Satan.
I didn't even think about that. So good on you. Yeah, it's a bad omen for sure. Yeah,
it's a bad omen, right? So
something.
Yeah, and so I think, damn, I wish I could remember because I know when he first came to Harrenhal, and Sir Simon was walking him through the castle, he saw the goat in the fireplace like area ish too, and so I don't know what happened directly after that first scene, but this scene, he walks into his room and he sees Viserys, who how we saw Viserys last, very like broken, like sick and fleshed out and all of that, and he's sitting there and he has the crown in his hands and he's sitting on the bed and he's basically saying like, I never wanted this, I never wanted the crown, like it crushes everything and everyone that wears it. Basically just saying like it's more of a burden than it is a pleasure, and he asks Damon, like, do you still want it?
Yeah,
And
this
then
is pretty straightforward, like what he
the
was trying
scene
to
like
convey
cuts
here.
out.
Yeah. I mean, it's heavy as the head that wears the crown type of talk here. Yeah, I mean, he's like, yeah, it's his this is not a good thing. Like, are you still even interested in this? Because like, look what's happening to you, right? Yeah.
Could be something saying, hey, relax, let them fight with the dragons, and you'll be the last one standing. Maybe he's giving them an omen like that. I don't know, man. It's weird because it's almost like, do you want it? I gave it to her, so just let her have it, right? He's helping him out. So you keep it.
No, I think it's more like because Damon is always like he's battled with his desire for the crown. Like he goes in and out of like, I want it and no, I'm good, and I want it and then no, I'm good. Like he kind of, he bounces. And I think being here in Harrenhal, he's allowing his like deepest feelings to come forward because he's hallucinating. Like he can't help what's happening to him. But I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see how this all plays out.
Yeah, could be crazy.
So the next scene where this scene made me die laughing. I don't know. I'm a bitch. Like we're back at the Red Keep. We're in Aegon's room. And the Grand Maester is helping him walk. But obviously Aegon is in excruciating pain. He is moaning and grumbling and just so uncomfortable. Sorry?
Could you imagine the pain?
No, he's got a snapped leg. He's burnt to a crisp. Like anyway, so this scene, he's walking, he falls over, Grand Maester is trying to help him up. Somebody's knocking on the door, and Aegon keeps saying like, no, give us a minute. He obviously doesn't want to be seen in the way that he's seen. But Larys is the one who's knocking, and he comes into the room and basically tells the Grand Maester, you shouldn't be doing this by yourself. Goes over, helps the Grand Maester put Aegon back to bed.
Yeah.
And he goes over to Aegon and says like, you're doing well, but you need to do better. And the Grand Maester is, saying like he needs to rest. Like this is too much for him. Like this is not good. But Larys is like keeps pushing, like, no, we need to get him up later today. Like, like don't let him rest for too long. He needs to get strong.
Yeah.
And
it's not wrong.
I mean, I think he knows like how far to push him because like he's able to kind of.
He's been pushed.
Yeah.
Probably at one point, but as a kid, I would think so.
I get what Larys is doing for sure. Because it's like you're gonna recover way slower and not as well if you stay bedbound. I know it's like, people say like, so just side note for me, like I had a C-section, and everyone thinks like, oh, you got to stay in bed, you just like had major surgery, and it is major surgery. Right. But like one nurse told me the morning of my C-section, she's like, soon as you can, get up and walk. Get up and like move your body. And it was the best advice that anybody gave to me. Like, yeah, it was painful. Yeah, it was hard, but I recovered so much faster because I got up and moved.
Yeah.
And I recovered really well. So I get it. Like now, like going through that experience myself, like I get it. Yeah. So I know what Larys is doing in that.
Well, everything's day surgeries now. All that crap. They just want you up and going.
Yeah, that's another.
No, but I mean, it's true, right? They still want you to keep, even when it's like hip or something like that. Like my mom, they want
to. Like hip, anything. You got to get up and you got to move. Like, and it is the best. It really is. Like I know, it seems barbaric, but it's meant. So I get it. With this scene. So what made me die laughing with this one in particular is like the actor, like the screaming was just like, it was really fake. Like I'm just like, this is awful. Like this is not proper acting. Like this is not like, this is not believable to me. This is not whatever. The other thing was the makeup. The hair and makeup, they failed in this scene. Like he literally was just burnt to a crisp. Why does he have perfectly flesh toned, like healed wounds?
Oh,
Like he literally was just burnt to a crisp. Like, why don't they make it like more pink? Why don't they make it more raw,
Right.
more something? Why it
yeah,
literally looks like
this
perfectly
time has
healed
gone by.
over.
Some time has gone by. He wasn't just, but I mean, it's the time has gone by now.
But
I
it
mean,
hasn't been like a year. It hasn't
Right.
been, like when you burn yourself, you have
Yeah.
a scar for a long
You make a
time.
good
Like,
point. Yeah, I actually didn't take it over to that, but the screaming and stuff like that, definitely. I was just like, yeah, he's phoning it in a bit here. He's overacting a bit in this scene.
I wonder how nice they're gonna make his face and everything look once he's backing up.
oh, it
If
was
that's the
well,
case.
no, it's obviously not great. Look, you see his ear was burnt off.
That Maester is pretty good.
Yeah, the Grand Maester and for him is fantastic, great actor, but like I don't know, the scene just didn't, I don't know.
Didn't work for you. Okay.
2 out of 10. 2 out of
Yeah.
10.
It's it wasn't the best one, but I do, I think like you said, it's important, I guess, to look at it at least from Laris's perspective right now, because I feel like even though he wants to push him to get better, it's only for his sake. I feel like, you know what I mean?
They
Like
have to touch on,
yeah.
So they have to hit on it every episode,
That's
even though
right.
it wasn't much about it.
Right.
They have to throw it in there.
Yeah. So that's that. The next scene we're at Driftmark. Alan and Corliss are on the dock.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh,
Lazy?
hey, lazy eye. Sorry.
No worries. Thanks for stopping by. We're only about halfway through this way. Still
Yeah.
lots of show to talk.
Alan and Corliss are chatting. Corliss pulls him aside and basically puts him up to this like secret mission or this private mission, saying he needs ships. He needs Alan to arrange for ships with trusted men to go to King's Landing, basically, and make sure that they're equipped with swordsmen. Corliss tells Alan that his brother Adam is the new dragon rider, and that Rhaenyra is looking for other dragon riders. I guess within the bastards of the city, and again, Corliss like goes on this whole conversation about, saying that their people are of old Valyria, but he is no dragon lord himself. And he knows little of their mother's lineage. So Alan says that his brother wanted more to life, whereas he is of salt and sea, and he doesn't long for anything else. So
Walks away. That's another weird one.
Not only that, did you catch that salt and sea line was used by was it Bela a couple of episodes ago?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right? She said, I am of salt and sea, and now this guy says he's of salt and sea. Right? Did you catch that?
I did, yeah. Because I like that line. I like what it is, because it's like, yeah, because the Targaryens keep saying they're a fire and blood.
That's right.
Right? They're a fire and blood, like, or dragon, whatever. And
hey, where's your tree on that one?
On that one, right?
Where's your tree? Hey, how about this tree, guys? Doesn't even recognize
water. It needs water from the sea.
No, I'm just saying, you're not catching everything over there, are you?
Fuck you.
Sorry, but yeah, it was
okay,
a good
yeah.
line. It was good. I
Yeah.
liked it. Yeah.
I mean, I wrote it down. I just didn't, think anything like that. It's not no tree thing for me, but they could sleep together. The bastard and the sister. You never know.
Bela?
Yeah, it is Dragon. It is a Game of Thrones thing. So they do sleep together a lot in these kind of things, right?
I love now how
Yeah.
Corliss doesn't look desperate about finding an heir anymore and kind of recovered from having lost most of his immediate family. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Lazy Eye, we about 15 minutes ago had a conversation about Corliss's reaction to Adam being the dragon rider, and Nico had brought up the fact, like, his interpretation of that scene was, there was some type of like pride and like this look at this son that I abandoned, like, coming up in the world. So, and I know another one of our participants Guy had mentioned like, oh, maybe there's something more to learn about their relationship. So yeah, it's interesting. You even kind of say the same thing. So yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know,
I'm
we'll
really
see.
liking this story between
Yeah.
with him and his sons here. It's been very interesting, and I don't know if you noticed, but I don't feel like we've gotten a scene with all three of them together as of yet because of the fact that they've been kind of doing separate things. Have we gotten that?
Not all three together, I don't think.
Oh, I try sometimes. I can't, although I am the only one that saw that scene that way. Apparently, it's because I have father issues. These guys are saying.
I didn't say that. I
Just
didn't say.
said it.
I said I don't have the
This
same
guy
daddy
takes
issues.
one to know one from JT over here, as you said.
Fuck.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, near each other. I don't think they've all been with each other though, right? So
So yeah, so then the next scene we're in the Erie, where Lady Jane is watching Rhaena and Rhaenyra's other children, the young boys leaving. They're on their way to Pentos. And Rhaena's looking rather solemn and glum, but kind of pensive also. And she kind of waits for the doors to the Erie to close before kind of veering off course and away from the assembly, I guess. I don't know what to call it, but it turns out that she's in search of the dragon that is in the Vale. I believe this one is called Sheep Stealer.
Well, makes sense, eh? It's lonesome by itself out there, be stealing sheep.
yeah, what'd you call it last episode? Sheep sealer is
Yeah. Yeah, Sheep Sealer.
Don't remind me. You gotta remember all this stuff. Like seriously, you got a fucking encyclopedia in there? Oh my god. Oh,
So I know, like Nico, I know in the beginning of this episode you had said like, oh, it looks like Rhaenyra has gained like 3 riders. I mean, she might potentially have 4.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that with this scene. You're right. Yeah, I mean, they keep getting closer and closer to like her finding this dragon now. Yeah, so you're right. Yeah, I don't know.
We'll
It's
see.
interesting. Yeah.
I just think also like just side note, I think it's a little neglectful. Like, I mean, Rhaenyra charged you with like taking care of the other future heirs of her line, and you just decide to like fuck off to go find a dragon. I mean, okay, good for you. You know, you got to take care of yourself, whatever. But these kids are like little, and you're supposed to be
eggs with
taking
them?
care of them and the eggs, and here you are just being like,
Yeah. What
she
I
can
want to
tell like Damon's her father.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. What I want to know though is there has been no reference. Do they have the moon door at this point in the Vale?
No, you don't see anything yet.
No, that's what I mean. Have
I
they?
don't even think it's that high yet. It's
No.
not built that high
Okay.
for some reason. I don't know. It just seems low. And isn't it? You see the veil. In the
I would like to see a return to the moon door if someone got killed by it. I wouldn't mind that, to be honest with you, if that was a thing here now.
I feel like I don't know. That would be interesting, but I don't know. If they're going
More
that way.
like sheep arsonist that dragon burnt his food and didn't eat it. If the people of King's Landing saw that, they'd riot. Oh yeah, oh wait, yeah, exactly. Sheep arsonist. There you go.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's that scene, and that's I think the only scene that we see of
Yeah.
Rhaena. That
Very
this
quick
episode,
couple of
so-
scenes. Yeah, quick couple of scenes here.
Okay, so here we go. Alicent. We are now back with Alicent. She's riding her horse. She gets back to her camp. She gets off her horse, walks up to Sir Rickard and says, I'm retiring for the night. And he kind of asks her, like, when do you think you want to return? And she's like, if I do, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of another quick scene, just kind of like, okay, she's hanging out under a tarp in the woods now. I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, but this is where I started to think to myself, because this is where I wrote it down in my notes. I'm like, because you can go a couple of ways with what where she's headed here in this episode. One, my theory was, is she on her way to Rhaenyra? Right? Okay,
yeah,
that's a possibility. That's a possibility, right?
Or cut off her kids.
Or she's going in search of her father.
That could be
right. Or she is just literally sick of everything, and as we get that scene later on, she's just trying to like free her mind, kind of like, and be like, yeah, I need some time to myself to like contemplate things.
Take a shower. Basically, after a few days of riding, you get
Well, all
some,
these people need to take a shower.
you get some. What do they call that? Horse crack ass or whatever you call that.
Yeah, that's what they call it.
Horse crack ass.
Well, you know when you're riding a horse so long, like instead of
Yeah, that's a thing.
it's a thing. It is. It's like chafing. It happens.
Horse
So
crack ass.
I honestly,
Camper ass.
I honestly would be interested to see if she is heading over to Rhaenyra, though. I think more likely it's that she's looking for her father, but it's possible she could be on her way to Rhaenyra, right?
Mm.
Looking for.
As much as I feel that Allison's scene was filler, it was beautifully shot. Yep, I thought she was going to do something stupid. Yes, we'll get to that scene afterwards because that's not this scene here. But I agree with you there. I also had a fleeting thought of that. Yeah, no, I did. I was just like, is she gonna kill herself in this scene? I agree. That was actually out of three. I said two, but out of three really nice shots in this episode, that was my second favorite shot, other than the opening episode of the shot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really like that scene when they pan back and you see her like the whole river, like when she walks up and you see kind of like the whole, because that looks like they actually shot that. That wasn't fake. Like I think they were actually in front of a nice body of water there. I really liked how that scene was like lit. Everything looked good. And then you get the overhead view of her kind of just drifting in the water there. I liked that. And of course, we'll get to it, but the end scene, like that is the shot of the episode, quite frankly. Like that's going to be the episode picture for this episode when it goes out now after we record this. But like the really good shots in this episode, honestly, between the start and this one and that last one.
Yeah, this season has had a few like beautiful shots.
Yeah,
I have to say, like I'm just like really impressed with the cinematography.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. The next scene. Now we're back to Dragonstone. Jace has come in to speak with his mother, and he's upset and handsome. That's gonna be my thing. Everything he's angry and handsome. And he's been talking to Rhaenyra, and he's upset that the lowborns are claiming dragons. He calls them mongrels. Rhaenyra, again in classic Rhaenyra, like asks him, "What would you have me do?"
Yeah.
You know, they are courageous and brave to like come here, try to claim a dragon. Like, we need people, blah, 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 blah. But Jace brings up a good point. He's like, you know, the House Targaryen is the blood of the dragon. If they lay claim to them, then what good are we? Rhaenyra is like, well, we're rightful rulers of the Seven Kingdoms. And then he says, well, what if one of your base-born silver-haired dragon riders decides he wants to rule? Did the Conqueror's Dream tell you that? So they're just having a little bit of a disagreement about her decision, which is interesting because he's the one who brought it to her to begin with. So I guess now he doesn't like the idea of the lowborn.
Powerful, maybe.
Yeah, the lowborn having some power.
They're gatekeeping. They're like, we're the Targaryens around here. What the hell is this? Right?
You know, he does like, I guess, like, I don't know. I guess I would be a little like worried as well.
He's not. He's making good sense. He's
yeah,
actually,
he does.
Being home, being there, and not allowed to do anything. He's coming up with some pretty good ideas and saying, like, listen, you should.
Yeah.
You should keep your eye on this because
Lazy Eye agrees with you. Lazy Eye agrees with you there as well. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I'm not giving him a fair shake because I find him annoying at this point, right? Like I've given him credit on some things he said, but other times I'm like, just shut up. Like
there's some good, like they're like undercover hints. It could be that he's just throwing out there, and people, you know, if you don't pay attention to every fucking wording almost that they say in this show, you can lose track of which way you're going.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Rhaenyra, she just keeps defending her decision, claiming that with the riders, like, they can end a needless war. I think it was this.
What's that?
Yeah, I think it was in this section or so. Like, that she basically was like, I can't go against like Vagar myself. And what are you going to do? Are you going to go against her with his dragon? Like, just again, just that they've had this conversation like a bajillion times before.
Yeah.
But then Jace questions like, well, what happens when Rhaenyra dies? Like, if we have now these dragon riders of lowborn status, like what happens when Rhaenyra dies? She's like, well, you're my heir. So what are you talking about? Like, if you will succeed me, like, what are you talking about? But then he kind of like he's like confronting her about like the legitimacy of his like birth, and he basically says like, well, did you think I would have dark hair? Pauses, like, when you took Harwin Strong into your bed, did you think I might favor him, or did it not cross your mind?
It's ballsy.
It is, but he makes a good point because
it's true.
like now, like his legitimacy has been contested so many times. Like now, if they have all these new dragon riders, like what the hell does it mean for him? He also brings to light that with this new plan, it just further pushes him away as heir. As there will be contenders. He then begs Rhaenyra not to pursue this, but she says that this is an act from the gods that she must pursue. He in this conversation, he also kind of alludes to like, what makes it so different for me to try to take the throne from you. If like we're just allowing people to just come up. So yeah, there's a lot, again, like tons of dialogue in these scenes, great dialogue. The writers did fantastic job with all of the conversations in this episode. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically just the gist of it. His acting was so good in that scene. I had doubts the actor could pull off, but his English, yeah. Nico does not agree.
No, he's right. The acting was good. I'll say that much. Here's the thing. I don't have to. That's the thing with this Game of Thrones, right? You don't. They purposely, if you're hating on a character sometimes, or you don't, you're indifferent to them, the actor's doing their job, right? Like, it's not like I'm sitting here being like, I just don't like this guy because he's a shitty actor. No, he's doing a good job. I just, it's like Joffrey. Like, everyone hated Joffrey, but if he was bad at that character, then you would not hate him as much as you did, right? So I'll give him his credit there. Unfortunately for that actor, he got typecasted, and then it seemed like he was so hated he wasn't able to get work, it seemed like, after that. I don't know if that's the case or what happened there, but I feel like it's one of those things that can be damaging sometimes as well, right? So I don't know. It's it's interesting, but no, I don't hate him on that level. I like Jace. I just think he's a bit whiny, but like you said, he's young, so I mean, it's to be expected.
Yeah. He's got to get balls. He's got to ask questions.
Yeah,
it's going through puberty.
Absolutely. Cersei was excellent. I mean, she was queen bitch of that show. I mean, she really was. Like, she was evil. And I loved to hate her. That's so much. But that was different. I actually really loved that character as much as she was evil. Like Joffrey, I just didn't like.
Fucking hated him.
Yeah, I hated Joffrey.
Hated him. Yeah.
Hated Joffrey. But yeah. So
yeah.
Anyways,
poor kid. Now this what's his name is paying. Aegon is paying for Joffrey's.
Oh yeah, is he?
No.
Well, there is a Joffrey on this show too.
Yeah,
right?
Maybe he'll get it.
Anyways,
yeah. The next set of scenes are just like, they're kind of quick scenes. They're all in and of the tone of like just things moving. Like the storyline is moving. It's kind of quick. So one scene we see Mysaria giving Alan a message. Basically saying like, make sure this gets to her. The her that she says needs to get to is Rhaenyra's handmaiden that is in King's Landing. So you kind of see how the message gets brought to her, like through like from Alan to another messenger. That messenger gives it to like a fisherman, and a fisherman like brings the handmaiden like a basket of fish with the message inside it. She's reading it, she sees it, throws it in the fire, and then goes about spreading the word. She goes about like all of King's Landing, and in her like relaying the message of essentially Rhaenyra is looking for dragon riders. If you are the bastard of a Targaryen highborn lord, there are ships out in the harbor waiting for you, kind of thing. And in these shots, you can see that there's silver-haired commoners, more so than I think we ever paid attention to before. I never
Yes.
really paid attention to that before, but so
A lot of blondies.
they're all like of silver hair. And so yeah, there's that. And then
Power of the people.
we're in King's Landing. Yeah. We're in King's Landing and we're at the bar. And that bastard man that we learn his name is Ulf.
Ulf the White.
Ulf the White. Okay, I
Yeah.
didn't know it was the White, but Ulf. And he's sitting there and he's having a pint with his friends, and his friends. This scene was funny because it just seemed like they're just like a bunch, like normal, like you see, like
exactly. Guys bullshitting.
They're basically just like, oh, this is your chance, like because Ulf has been talking up this whole time, like forever, that he's like the bastard son of.
That's right.
He's Daemon and Viserys's half brother and yada, yada, yada. And he's just talking it up. But then now that there's actually,
that's right.
Put your money where your mouth is, basically. Like,
oh,
you
my
have an
leg
opportunity.
acting up.
He's using every excuse. No. And they basically say, like, you're an idiot. Like, you could be a dragon rider. Like, you could claim a dragon. Like, I wish I could do it. Like, so. There's that, and then they all start chanting Ulf the Dragon Lord.
You're trying to, what? You're gonna get some free? You did it just to get free beer, or what? What are you trying
yeah,
to
exactly.
Say?
Yeah, which he was. I feel like
you're not quite sure of it.
But he admits here, like he's like, to be honest, I'm not really too sure of it myself. So why would I risk it? But as we talked about last episode, you got to risk it, and there was a lot of people that risked it this episode. It didn't turn out very well for a lot of them, but there's a lot of people that risked it, right, for that very reason. He pulled the classic washed up skater. Oh no, I couldn't. My knee is busted. Yeah. These aren't the right shoes. Oh, I would, but I didn't wear the right pants today. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. Next scene, quick. We're with the Hammer, the blacksmith, and his wife, and he tells her that he has to go. He reveals to her in this scene that his mother was Viserys and Daemon's aunt, but she was disowned because she worked as a prostitute, basically, in the pleasure house.
Yeah.
It's also revealed that his daughter has passed away, and
yeah, that was tragic.
Yeah, his wife. He's basically telling his wife, pleading with her, "I have to do this. I have to go," and she's like, "Please don't go." I don't want to be a widow, on top of, she doesn't want to be a lady. She doesn't want to be a widow. She doesn't want anything, because he's like, this could change our life. And she just really wants a simple life. Please, let's just go to my brother's in Tumbletown or Tumbleweed, or I don't know, wherever she says, but somewhere. But yeah, and he's like, I gotta go. So then the next scene is you see him walking toward the ships. And when I say ships, they're little boats. Like, I'm not talking, they're not like big ships or anything.
With the whole Hammer thing, right? That when he's talking with his wife and she died, right? I was just wondering, but so he said he knew his mother, right? And his mother was but was it his mother was working at the whorehouse, right? But she's not the one that was her brothers were Viserys in that. So isn't she a sister? She
is Sarah or Syrah Targaryen. She is the 9th child of Jaehaerys.
Yeah.
Jaehaerys.
Her brother.
So Syrah is Viserys and Daemon's aunt. So Viserys and Daemon's brother, Balon.
It's their father's sister, then, I think.
Yeah.
Here's his father's sister.
This is fucking confusing.
So, Viserys and Daemon's father, Balon, and Hammer's mom, Sarah, are brother and sister.
By the way, Hammer's first name is Hugh. Huge Hammer.
Hugh.
Huge Hammer. Yeah.
Is that awesome?
Yeah, they're first cousins. Yeah, Guy. So Viserys, Daemon, and Hammer are first cousins.
Okay.
Yeah, he's cousins to he's
ashamed, right?
Hugh Hammer is cousin is a Small Hammer.
Not Jack. Not Jack.
Jack Hammer's their father. Is their uncle.
You're into the fucking. What's their mother's name? Wood.
Oh man.
Plywood?
Um,
Sorry, I don't know where I'm going.
no. So and yeah, and there's that whole thing where he said, yeah, they would pay more to fuck somebody with silver hair, like in
Yeah.
a pleasure house,
So,
essentially,
yeah,
right?
you got some
She
good-
has
good
yeah,
rub-
so like I read up a little bit on Sarah. She has three bastard sons. But I
okay.
don't know like if we're gonna see the rest of them.
Got it.
You nailed it. Yeah, Hugh being one of them. So yeah, she didn't see eye to eye with her father, Jaharis. Obviously on her extracurriculars.
Yeah, but after you nailed
So
it, there you go.
yeah, so that's that.
Yeah.
And then we get after this episode, I've learned a lot more about the bloodlines and the dragon
lineage.
riders after
Yeah.
this. Yeah, so we'll talk about that after. But
Yeah, yeah.
anyways, yeah, so they're walking to the ships, they're getting on the ships. This is now where the scene where Alicent is floating in the lake.
Yeah,
That's
not
my
much.
only comment with that.
Yeah,
This is what I wanted to talk about.
Go
When
ahead.
she's walking to the lake and she's like unrobing, I'm like, oh, JT's probably like sick. Like, we're gonna
Yes,
see like
okay.
some
So was I.
you know,
No, never
thought she
mind.
was naked.
Alicent.
Listen,
Like,
I was so disappointed when
I
she
knew it. I looked over at
And
my
she's
husband. I was
floating with
like,
the white dress.
like, come
Like,
on,
yeah.
it's only second season. How much money you making right now? Like, come on, please. Like, just take your clothes
I
off.
knew it. I told
She's had
Lewis,
a career before this, by the way. I'm
Well,
just
we
saying.
don't care. We want to just see her. I want to see her in the nude. I just
Oh,
want to see the
gosh.
ginger spots.
Yeah, I told Lewis, I looked over him. I was like, I bet you $1,000 JT is screaming at the TV. And like, he's like so upset that she's not naked,
I
that he
wanna
didn't get to
see
see a tit.
the bush. Sorry, yeah. Sorry. No, I'm just we get a lot of full frontal nowadays, so it would be not so bad.
I mean, I would be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed by that too. But
But Nico didn't yell at the TV.
yeah,
because he's
but
here with the
and
girlfriend.
I also expected that we weren't going to get that. To be fair, but anyways, yeah. Honestly, I think we already touched on this though. There's not much to add. Like Lazy Eye had mentioned, I also thought that she was going to kill herself in this scene. Possibly, I thought she was actually going to walk into the water and drown herself. But then we just get her kind of zoned out, just floating around. So I don't know if she just needed a moment to herself here, or if she is on her way somewhere. Like I said, my theory of finding her father, or she's not in a good headspace, clearly right now, right? Yeah,
No.
yeah. I
Yeah,
saw
I
someone
mentioned
mention. Yes.
I
Yeah.
mentioned
Yeah.
very briefly. I didn't know
Christina
that was a
mentioned that.
thing, but I definitely said I was like, oh, that's ironic that
That's
it's in the
right.
same
Yeah, good catch. Yeah, Christina talked about that earlier.
spot, same arm. So yeah, so there's that, and then to continue on with the
Also, there's intense music playing at the end of that scene too.
Well,
when
that's
she's
what 'cause
floating.
when she's looking
She's
at
floating
the
in the
bird
water.
too,
Look,
right?
it seems
Is it a
very
bird or a dragon?
ominous
Is it a
kind of
dragon?
music.
No, it was a bird.
when I watched it the first time, I thought it was a bird. When I watched it the second time, I was like, that was like a dragon.
No, I just maybe a bigger, not a raven, maybe like a hawk or something. I don't fucking know. But
Okay, I don't know.
I mean, I would think you did that. You would be able to tell if it was a dragon, and she would know something. She'd
Like
be
in the
into it
distance,
quick.
like it's like flying around. I don't know. I
But
don't know.
maybe it is a signal. Maybe it's a meaning of something. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out one episode.
Figure out what she's doing next episode. Yeah, so also then Brainier is on Dragonstone, and she's looking at the all the lowborn that are arriving on
And Eagle. That's what I thought.
oh, okay, Tessarion. Interesting. Maybe. Yeah, so Rainier is looking at all the lowborn arriving Dragonstone. They're walking into the castle. So she has them all convened in, I guess, the council room there. She's walking down the stairs. Before she gets to as she gets to the bottom of the stairs, the dragon trainer goes off on her and High Valerian, and basically goes on strike, telling her like, this is an abomination. This is so disrespectful. Like, dragons are like respected beasts, and yeah, so she's defending her decision. She's like, the first gentleman of the King's Guard, Sir Daclin, Daclin. Anyways,
Exactly.
he he was of highborn blood, and it didn't work, but this is gonna work, like, and he's just like, well, like, you can do whatever you want, but we're done. And they just all storm off, like they're not doing anything with their little sticks.
Yeah.
They're just gone.
Yeah, they have nothing to do with it. But she said that the gods sent them, so it's not like
Yeah, Darklyn. Thank you. Yeah, so that's that. And anyways, she so I guess now she's feeling not defeated, but just like, oh God, here we go. So she walks into the council room where all the people have come, and she addresses them.
One of the worst speeches of all time, by the way.
You think so?
It was just one of those things where, maybe not one of the worst speeches, but it was one of those things where, like, there wasn't much worse she could say. She's like, this is the scene actually where she's like, you know what? I thought I knew everything about dragons. Clearly I don't. It might be the blood. I don't know. It might be something else. Anyways, you left all your shit lives to come here. So you must be, you're, we'll see what happens. Anyways, she's like, what?
That's a great, like, so that's a better synopsis than I have written. That's for sure. I have Rhaenyra addresses the lowborn.
I found it quite comical the way that she addressed them, because it was just like, it's true. Like, she was like, well, I guess we'll see what happens. And then she just leaves. And they're all just sitting there waiting for the dragon.
Oh no, so that happened. Okay, that was hilarious. That was funny.
Right.
But like in this scene, like, she's just addressing them, like you said, like she's telling them
what she used to think. Yeah. She used
yeah,
to,
no kidding. Like she could have
No,
just
but,
given
like,
them
there was
little
no
lesson on, like, the word.
confidence. She literally told them, I might have this whole thing wrong. Anyways, we're going to see what happens.
knew it as ashes in the wind.
But she
Yeah.
basically said, like, you all left your lives back there. Clearly nothing is good over
If you
there.
if you survive, you'll be forever changed. But like if you don't, like, thanks
You're going to be
anyways.
their lunch. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Like, thanks.
That's
But
what
at
I
the
mean, like,
at the end of the day, like, these people don't have anything else. So it's
No.
just like, whatever, let's try.
completely.
Let's try.
I would have. We've talked about this. 100% go for it. It would
Yeah.
suck.
Oh yeah,
if you're
I
not
totally
eating.
would, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've actually left their lives behind.
Yeah.
What lives though? What
Yeah,
lives?
Yeah,
That's
what you had, like all that fucking it could be transforming this whole thing for them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That would
So
be. Awesome
she also describes, she says, like, we're gonna meet Vermithor. So she brings up Vermithor and she describes him.
Yeah.
And she basically says he's I wish they had formed a spaced out line instead of bunching up together. Maybe 5 at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's describing Vermithor. She's basically saying he's the largest in the world after Vhagar. He's the most fierce. They call him the Bronze Fury. I'm the Golden Rage. So she's like, we'll see him now. And then she like then she walks.
May God bless you. That's what she says. May
And
the
she walks
gods
off.
bless you. And then she just shuffles off. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it's
go
very much-
watch from over here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go watch from behind the scenes.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it-
very much Hunger Games,
luck.
like,
Good luck to you all.
Yeah, it was like, all right. Anyways, good luck. Yeah.
I can control these things. You can't.
What
So
else are you gonna
she-
say though? I get it. It's just funny.
This was badass though. Like she calls him
16. Yeah.
she like they
so
walk out into the
terrifying.
dragon pit. They're on the balcony, on the ledge or whatever, and she calls out to him and he comes and he looks like a mean motherfucker. Like I actually thought he was going to be bigger. Like I assumed he was going to be bigger. I don't know why. I just assumed, I don't know, but I figured he was going to be huge.
But she
Probably
seems
'cause
to be
Vhagar
the
is
next
huge.
biggest. Yeah, the next biggest as opposed to Vhagar, right? So,
But I just feel like he should have been bigger. Like I was expecting him to. Anyways, I don't know. Like I'm getting hung up on that. But
He's wiser in the fighting.
But the way he
Is what they
crept
said.
up out of the cave in the darkness and like just like came up out of like that hole, like that was,
I shit my pants.
it was scary. Like, and there's so many bad uses we see these days of CGI. Like that looked great. Like
Yeah.
it
Better
looked
than any fucking.
really good when he just kind of came out of the darkness. Like it was truly a scary scene. Like I was like, oh my god. Like,
Yeah, it was great. It
Yeah.
was so great. And then, she like basically tells him, be calm. Good point. Be
Yeah.
calm, like serve, relax, yada yada yada, and then I thought it was badass that she just like reached out and like touched him and they had like a moment, like they're not even bonded, but she like is so highborn, I guess, that like
Yeah.
she could like just, chill with another dragon, like no problem.
Right.
And then that's when she turns around and she's like, I have nothing more to say. The dragon will speak now, and like just walks away.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
So
Alright.
she calls somebody to come forward who's going to come forward. This,
Yeah. You first. Yeah.
yeah, this guy comes forward, and then she's like, yeah, the dragon speaks now. And she walks away and goes up into the balcony to watch. And, I guess Vermithor is just like sniffing around, and I guess he sniffs something good, but he doesn't like whatever's presented to him. The first 10 people and whatever, he just blasts them like with fire.
Yeah. She had said, sorry, I forgot I had written it down. Yeah, I have nothing more to tell you. It must be the dragon who speaks. And then she says,
Calls for him.
who among you would be first, right? Yeah. And the person that walks up, which I liked,
It was you, right?
no, it was some random person who got killed, but they looked very related, unlike
Well,
the
that's what I'm
other
saying. Maybe
people.
not you, but maybe it looked like the other guy from the
Right.
bar.
Because if you just looked at that person, you'd be like, well, that person looks like definitely related to the Targaryens. And then meanwhile, the other people that maybe don't look as much, especially that guy, the Ulf guy, doesn't look like he's related to them. He's the
But
one
he's got
that
like dirty blonde. Yeah.
Yeah. I just think
right?
it's funny that the prototypical Targaryen person came forward first. And then it looked like it was going to work out in his favor at first. And no. You toast.
Yeah, no, yeah. Vermithor had some lunch. Yeah, so then all chaos ensues. Like it's just chaos. Vermithor is burning people here. Ulf gets knocked down, off the ledge, and just people are just screaming and on fire, and there's flames everywhere. And
I wrote down literal trial by fire. Dragon
yeah, for
fire.
sure.
That should have been the name of this episode, Trial by Dragon Fire. Well, that's what the red sowing apparently is supposed to be referring to, is this moment. Like it's like
should be like the red reaping. Like
I
sowing
know.
doesn't seem like a right word for it, but
I looked it up, and apparently that's what they're referring to, is this moment with the bastards in the show. It's referring to
it's
almost like an offering or something. You know what I mean? Like the red. Yeah, it's we had the red wedding. Now we get the red sowing. I guess I don't know, which isn't even the name of that episode, as we all know, but that's what everyone refers to it as, right?
Yeah.
But you notice, like, too, when he's burning everybody in that first thing, it's almost like at one part when people are hiding in this, it's almost like he is looking for somebody specific. It's almost like the dragon is specifically looking for one person.
He is.
Yeah, and you don't really, you could forget about it by all the fire that's going on and everybody's screaming and yelling. He's got that eye open, like he's looking for somebody to.
Well, that's what was kind of fun too, because then he proceeds on foot, and the dragon's just walking around eating people after that, right? They thought they could get away in the caves.
Yeah. And he's eating the people that are on fire, and you got them ducking in behind like the
great scene.
It honestly, so you know what this reminded me of? Jurassic Park.
Yes.
Lost World.
Yes.
Like when the T-Rex is just like going ham and like just eating everybody and whatever. Like that's what this kind of reminded me, just on a larger scale.
Yeah.
So that was kind of nice to like
T-Rex didn't light anybody on fire.
No, of course not. But that's just kind of what it reminded me of, just on a larger scale. But
good comparison, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, Ulf, we see him scuttling away, like out of harm's way. So we don't know where he's going to yet, but he's scuttling away. And then we see Hammer.
Yeah.
He's trying to
over, and just like wondering, hey, as the whole thing's going on there, she's like either in fear or wondering, like, what the fuck, man, not this again. Like she has that look in her eye, like you can almost see a little bit of fear. It's because like, what if you can't get him controlled again, right?
Hammer's just running, trying to dodge the flaming bodies and whatever, and he hides kind of like behind a rock, and there's a woman that's with him. And when they try to escape, like Vermithor confronts them, kind of like bashes his head like into the ground, and they get separated, Hammer and this woman, and the woman kind of goes off. And Vermithor looks like he's gonna go after her, but Hammer like yells out to him and basically is screaming at him, distract him, like, hey, I'm over here.
He yells out, "Hey, come in!"
Get over here.
That's what he yells. He's like, "Come on!"
Come on, I got what you
Yeah,
want.
he does. Anyway, so Vermithor turns his attention to Hugh, Hammer, and they just have this like, yeah, exactly. Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're just Hugh, like Hammer and Vermithor are having this moment where they're kind of sizing each other up, and anyways, it you can tell now Vermithor is bonded to him, like he totally concedes to him.
I also want to point out the fact that I think it works with their characteristics of the dragon, because he's the toughest guy, I feel like, amongst them, and he showed no fear to the Vermithor, right? So I feel like Vermithor was almost like, this guy's worthy of being my dragon rider, kind of almost in a way, because I think they're more, I don't know, I maybe there's something there in terms
there
of
is
belief. Maybe he's
there you go.
believe it's
there is something.
daughter.
Okay.
Maybe he's gonna believe it's the daughter in that soul of the dragon, like he's gonna believe something.
Oh,
So,
see,
what does Lazy Eye say?
Eye's doing the same thing. They both showed no fear, all by accepting his fate, with Silverwing and Hammer by being actually courageous against him. That's what I thought about the Hammer. Yeah.
Guy actually said it like in an earlier comment, and I looked this up, and this is why. So apparently Vermithor was Jaehaerys's dragon, and because yes,
Sister.
so Vermithor's last rider was Jaehaerys, and Hammer is the grandson of Jaehaerys by blood.
Okay, that's why.
So it's on. So there's like, yes, there is a courageous thing, of course. Like you have to, because look at, even Aemond was able to tame Vhagar by being courageous, right? Even though they don't have a line, because that was, well, maybe they do. I don't know, but that was Lena's. Anyways, I don't know about that, but I think like, so this one specifically, Jaehaerys was Vermithor's last rider, and Hammer is Jaehaerys's grandson.
Okay, interesting.
So that's how
the queen has like a little grin, eh? Like,
yeah.
Like,
and they had play her like Rhaenyra music. Like I love that.
He doesn't make words to it.
Yeah,
I love
like really cool.
when that comes into play. Yeah.
So she looks like super hopeful and like, wow, this actually worked and this is great and whatever. And then the scene kind of goes black, and I'm like, oh God, is this the end of the episode? Like, no, I want more. I want more.
The 53rd minute or something at that point. I always check how much time I got left now. It's the worst, man. I hate it.
I'm like, oh no, like anyways, and then the scene, the next scene is with Ulf, and we see him, he's stumbling around, he's trying to figure out where the hell he's gonna go, and he goes into this open area, and it's kind of lit, kind of not, like, he's all like whatever, and he ends up stumbling into like a nest, and he sticks his foot right into like a dragon egg nest, and he breaks it open, and
he cracks an egg.
Yeah,
Hot and sticky.
It was hot in there, right? Nest. It was like the sand, right, or whatever. Like,
no, it's inside of an egg. It's all like the
no, I know, but
like,
I think
I think you remember how when Daemon went and collected the eggs, like he had to break through like a shell, and then he collected the egg. So he he didn't break through the egg. He just broke through the sac or the.
That's right.
But I feel like the way they're like reptiles in this sense. Like the embryo. So they're in like maybe a sand buried that's kind of warm, but they're keeping it warm,
like
the
reptiles,
dragonstone.
Yeah, because remember, like once the eggs are exposed, they have to keep them on heat.
Yeah,
that's right.
Or beside a body or whatever, of something like some sort. Or
no, they have them in those
cradle.
Like,
cradles. Oh, okay,
yeah, that has fire. Heat. Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So he breaks through one of those things, and then, and then we see Silverwing is awoken, and is kind of like looking at him, and kind of goes up to him and nudges him twice.
Yeah, I love the nudge. Yeah. Love the nudge. Yeah. It's kind of like, hey, what the hell? Like
you fucking step on one of my eggs. Like seriously. You know how long it took to poop that out?
Miasma goo thing. It looks kind of volcanic. Even. Volcanic. Yeah.
What is miasma goo? I gotta look that up. But Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So then Silverwing nudges him a couple times, and yeah, exactly. Like, lazy. I said about being courageous. It kind of like Ulf kind of feels defeated. He's like, whatever, just I'm here, take me. But
I thought he
Silverwing
farted, man.
doesn't.
If you listen to the background, I thought he did that little like he did. He shit his pants when he was doing that to him.
He may have.
Yeah, if you really pay attention to the sound, turn up your volume next time you hit to that scene. Just crank it
I've
up.
had enough of the sounds of the show. The show is ruined sounds for me. Fuck me.
That's fair. That's fair.
Well, depending on what like.
Yeah. So, anyways, and now it's revealed that they're bonded. It seems like they've bonded now, which is fantastic.
It seems like too.
And yeah. So then the next scene, we're at the Green Council. Aemond is sitting there with everyone, like all of his council, and they're talking about Otto is being slow to respond, but there's a few battles happening in and around him, so it makes sense that he hasn't responded, if at all, like, or just slowly. And you can hear things happening in the background, like out in the people are screaming and whatever, but they keep talking about Lord Jasper brings up the fact that Daron's dragon Tessarion is now of like flight age, or has taken flight.
Yeah.
So he's big. He's big enough. He's big enough now, and he'll join them soon. But now the screaming is being intensified outside. So Aemon gets up and goes to see, and when he goes outside, he sees that there's a dragon flying over King's Landing, and it turns out to be Ulf and Silverwing flying over King's Landing, and Ulf is very gracefully flying her around. But yes, like Elysia said, I think Silverwing looks fucking beautiful. Like, she's a beautiful dragon.
Agreed.
But Ulf is such a graceful rider, for this beautiful dragon.
So I two things on this though. I think I have a little bit of an issue that this guy just jumps on the dragon right away.
That's the first thing I had a feeling.
Jumps on the dragon right away and could just
with
fly
a saddle.
Yeah. I don't know
I don't know where the saddle came from.
I don't know what that's all about. This guy is just born to ride, apparently. Like, he could just jump on. Well, I know
there's a song.
Technically they are. Yes, there is a song. Technically they are, but the fact that he can just jump on this dragon and he knows how to fly this thing. I know we were calling bullshit when you remember, Christina, you had issues with Jon Snow just getting on the dragon and being able to fly him, right?
Well, I mean, basically you just have to hold on, bro. I mean, the dragon flies itself.
He does all the
I mean, the dragon's not gonna fly itself into the ground, bro, at the end of the day.
Also, missed opportunity. He should have had the dragon like go to the pub with his boys so he can be like,
that's what Nico
or it should have like
the
boys should have been outside,
right? Like, be like, yeah,
jump on, guys,
because they were that's where they left it. They're like dragon rider, and then like it'd be like they should have like
proved it to you or whatever.
You'd see that in like a comedy or something. You would cut to them talking about it. Hey, do you think that guy ever got on a dragon? Like, nah, he's a liar. And then you like see him flying by. Yeah.
It's like riding a bike, bro.
Missed opportunity. That's all I gotta say.
It's like riding a bike. Yeah, you're
right.
Easy.
Missed opportunity. Yeah, definitely a joyride to show.
Well, it's a continuity just as made. Like, I mean, the saddle. It's like, really, like, how did you fucking saddle the dragon?
Maybe it was there already on
Bugatti.
Yeah, I guess not. I just think it was a missed opportunity. He should have really just went and seen his voice on that.
He's so long.
Really in control.
I know that's what I would have done. I'd be like, hey, screw you guys.
Beat up. It's not like a horse. Yeah.
No, you gotta go like that.
Yeah. In one hand, I don't know if I wonder if he knew to strap in with the hook.
Yeah, okay, that's true.
No, maybe I don't know, because then remember I had an issue with like Rhaenys busting through the floor of the sept with like on Maelys in like full armor. It's like, when the hell did you have time to put full armor on, girl? Like, please.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Anyways, like that was So
I know. Meanwhile, this guy has no equipment. He's just riding Dolo on the track.
Solo. He's having a blast. He's probably still drunk from the night before, man. Like, really? You think he went to that thing sober?
But
it's a good point.
That's true. So they're flying around.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, go ahead, Christina.
It's okay. Aemond, one eye. He gets whatever. He's like, so he flies out of the door and he hops on a horse and he awkwardly like gallops. Like, I don't know, you guys, did you
Like to
see him
get out
like
of it.
galloping? He's like just straight
I
back.
like your CGI.
He's just straight back, like, you know,
Play scared shitless
out
little
of the
game.
thing. He's
He is.
Vagar is in the meadow, just having herself a little nap, like she likes to do.
Like really lazy
And
as fucking. No, I didn't want to say.
well,
the other
it's
word,
fucking
man.
huge. I don't blame
It's just
her.
person in the world, man. Laziest dragon in the world.
Vagar is
Except Nora, I
huge,
almost
so
said.
it's like she expends a lot of energy. Like, girl, just you take your nap. Like, no worries. Anyway, so then the next scene is you see Vagar in the air in pursuit of Silverwing, and they're heading toward Dragonstone, and all of a sudden, like Aemon, like Vagar's
No, I'm just joking.
It got canceled. It was in my head.
Go ahead.
Aemon. Anyways, Vagar is like in hot pursuit of Silverwing and looks angry and is roaring and whatever. And Aemon basically has to reel her in and basically says, "No, like turn back, like flee. No, Vagar, no." And we end up seeing the like one of the best scenes. Like,
Yeah, this is
But
the,
hey,
the
oh,
last shot, as I
It
mentioned.
wasn't
this
all of the
episode.
dragons. There was just the 3, right?
it was the 3.
Chilling with her. Yeah, bro. It's like
It wasn't
it's,
the other 2 that where it wasn't. No, it wasn't the other 2 that were out fucking joyriding. with their
honestly,
owners.
it's like it's like the cover of her new mixtape type of pose. Like, look at her. She you can't see it because all the glare. I have
Here,
to
I'll
bring it
link-
up on the computer. It's so badass. The way she's
Yeah.
looking at it, she has like a smug look on her face. Like, yeah, that's right. I got my dragons now. You know what I
Well,
mean? Like,
Vagar, I mean, still looks sick. I don't care what that fucking piece of meat there.
so sick.
Yeah, they like a fucking Komodo dragon times 1,000,000 sizes or whatever if you want to call it. Just beautiful, but yeah, that it wasn't all the dragons. Like the one that Buddy was silver. That were they all there? Like it was just the three
It
dragons.
was
that
it was her dragon.
And then who came flying up on top there?
That was Silverwing.
That was Silverwing with the shipwreck, the ship Alan, right?
With Ulf.
Yeah, this one here,
Sorry, I was
so
looking for
sick.
it.
That last shot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so sick. When
You
she's
know
just
what?
standing there,
Yeah,
like,
because
yeah,
she
what now? Like, what up now? You know what I mean? Like,
She
I
doesn't
love
look
that.
scared because there is no real dragons behind her, guys. It's just CGI. So it's just a green screen. She's just badass posing.
Yeah, it was a
So,
badass pose.
yeah.
Like, and then as soon as he's seen what was going on, and he's like, "Oh, gotta get
I-
out of here! I'm out."
Well,
Yeah.
okay. I have different theories on that. Where he's gonna go when he turns it around after. Nah, because this is obviously gonna be the end of the fucking. This is the end of the show with that last scene there with the pose there, right?
Oh no, there is a so I have a bunch of screenshots on my phone because I was trying to get screenshots for posting
This
this
is
episode.
another like wild. Like,
There is another there is another shot of it where there is 3 dragons.
Three
There's
dragons
one in the
standing?
foreground
Yeah.
on top of a castle.
He's
Like,
flying on top of the
yeah,
castle.
yeah,
And
like
there's-
that's what I said.
yeah, you're
Because
right. Right.
So
The one that I
Cyrax
showed-
is one beside her. That's her dragon, and then
That's
there's
right.
Vermithor like behind her, and then Silverwing is up in the castle.
That's right. That's right.
Okay,
You're
which
right.
one
It was
about-
all 3 because I thought it was only 2 personally. That's why I thought. Like,
Yeah, because you don't see what's the other one, Vermithor. Do you? Is Vermithor there?
yeah.
Vermithor's there. He's the one behind
one.
her.
He's this one, the one I showed in the picture.
This fire, the one
That's
on the right.
Vermithor. Yeah, on the left, on her left. Yeah,
Well, on my
on
right.
your that's right.
And
This-
on the left is her dragon, right?
I gotta bring it up again.
Yes.
On the left
yes.
is her dragon. Okay.
Yeah.
Now there's 2 more dragons. I mean, sorry, isn't there? If I'm not mistaken, 2 more dragons on her side. Well, there's also Damon's, but he's not there. He's
Yeah, but they would like yes, she has Jace's dragon, she has Bela's dragon, she has
yeah. She also has the so Silverwing
Damon's
just got there.
dragon.
That's the guy who was joyriding.
the one who landed on top of the
Yeah.
castle.
So like this over here on that tip of the
That's
castle.
the
in
guy that was
background,
joyriding.
That's Silverwing.
That was a
right?
joyrider.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And then if you look on the one that's on her right in this picture,
Yeah.
that's
Just circle
on,
it.
right. Hold on. This one here.
That's
Yeah.
hers.
That's
yeah,
hers.
and Vermithor is back here.
gonna say Vermithor is bigger, so it had to be in the background.
Yeah,
They had to put it
Vermithor's in the background, but the one on top of that building, I think that's what she was saying.
That's
the
Silverwing.
Yeah,
but there's a bunch of smaller dragons, obviously, on her side. Too,
yeah,
as
but
well,
listen, the guy
that are
rolls
already
up.
claimed.
He sees 3 dragons that she's chilling with. You're gonna vamoose, get out of there. Like she's not like he had to stay. Like that he would have been dead if he stayed there.
But
like,
I also have different theories. Like, where's he gonna go? I don't think he's going back. I just think he's going.
they're outnumbered with dragons now. They don't have enough
Well,
dragons.
I know, but I have a feeling that you're gonna see him somewhere. I don't know. I have a feeling that because he's got that cockiness of Damon in him, I have a feeling he might be headed that way. In a weird way. Aemon. Afterwards with Vagar.
He's gonna head where? To Damon?
Yeah.
The Harrenhal.
Yeah.
And join forces with him.
Well, you can cut off one dragon there. You can really. That's only one dragon. That's Damon's dragon. He wanted to fight it. He wanted to deal with his uncle. So I don't know if he's gonna go say that. I don't know. It's so weird. It left me open to wondering because
how about this?
He made some turn, like he made a turn like he had a place to go.
Alternatively, if he doesn't go back to her and he does want to pursue being king, he could be caught on the opposing side.
But that's what I mean.
He could join them if they make a truce, and he becomes king.
It. Yeah, because I'm still trying to remember that. Okay, remember the dragons are going to be around forever. So that's why that's in the back of my head that this storyline has to come somehow to a conclusion of the Targaryens, obviously, except for the 2. But you know what I'm saying? In the beginning of Game of Thrones. So I'm kind of trying to play it out to how long it can stretch it or what they could do in a sense. Okay. I mean, I never read the book, right? So I don't know.
I also have, like, we are also forgetting about one of the nastiest, meanest fucking dragons that like hasn't been introduced yet, and hasn't been talked about, and maybe they're saving this one for the 3rd season. But this one's called the Cannibal, and that one, that's dragon. Damon listed this one, and this one is one. This one is cannibal, and this one eats dragons.
Oh, is this the one they can't tame? Essentially,
yes,
yeah.
Yes. So I wonder when this one is going to come.
That's what I mean. There's a lot of weird things you can fuck around.
I knows.
No, guy, don't say anything.
No. He just means like he wish he could like kind of like just throw out theories here with us. Yeah, no, I hear you.
Get
We appreciate you tuning in and listening.
JT and Guy are gonna connect off the show.
I need to know what the fuck's going on. Though I don't want to read a book. Damn it! No, but
I'll give you $100.
No, well, he says he's watched a lot
Grey
of
Ghost
videos about this stuff.
Okay.
Also, why Grey Ghost? Oh, I haven't heard about that one. And Dreamfire, that's Helena's. And like they in the trailer for the last episode, they mention Dreamfire.
But we still haven't seen how many more they have in where Aemond is either, right? Like how?
So they have Vagar for sure. They have Tessarion.
Yeah.
And then Dreamfire, which is Helena's.
Okay.
And we don't know about Sunfire, which was Aegon's. We assume that it's dead, but we don't know because Kristen Cole left it.
That's true. So, I think he's dead though, but yeah, I hear you saying,
probably, but who knows, right? So they have 3, maybe
also
4.
Also, let's not forget there's eggs that are currently in the Vale right now.
Well, yeah, we don't know what the fuck's going over in the fucking Vale. I mean,
there's 4 eggs.
Yeah.
3 of them we know become Daenerys's, but there's one.
Yeah, who's gonna get?
No, but those eggs are on their way to Pentos.
Right. Oh, sorry, that's right. She went to the Vale, and those are she's leaving the Pentos now. That's right. Yeah. But we know where 3 of those eggs end up, so those aren't even in play during this. We know where 3 of them end up.
And then obviously one guy stepped on one.
Well,
fucking idiot.
Sunfire is alive, but busted his knee and can't skate anymore. It was his last day on the force, too. Unfortunately,
we forgot about.
That's how it goes. It was 1 day away from retirement. Yeah,
we forgot about this 6 scene. Like I didn't even. Hold on.
I have 21 pages here of writing that I did. I don't know why I write so much.
This one.
Just stick to the points. Which one?
Oh yeah,
that was one when he was standing behind her.
I
and
forgot
she
about
just
this
walked off.
one.
That's when she walked off and ran. Like she kind of walked off and scurried and said, "Hey, you can deal with it."
Yeah,
at
yeah.
that point.
This look at how badass this dragon is. He has like devil horns.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. She said he's the most fierce, next to Vagar, right?
Yeah.
So I like to see what the fuck happens with that. That thing
So
would look mean.
here's the count right now.
Blacks, Caraxes, yeah, Cyrax, Vermax, Sea Smoke, Vermithor, and Silverwing.
Man, you forget about all these dragons, man.
Fuck, man, I know because they're not all in place. Some of them are
The
young.
green's not big.
None of them are.
I thought that was a
Yeah.
NASCAR Vagar. I thought we had another one. I just didn't read all the words.
Yeah.
All the letters.
So there you go. That's this episode. Christina, once again, good note taking, and it's sad. One more episode to go, guys. It's one more episode to go on this one.
You know what the cannibal one would be have a good time with a Vagar, all that extra meat there. You know, you could eat for fucking.
Oh, that gobble,
his
turkey,
gobble, his
turkey
turkey
neck. Yeah,
He's the only one that seems to have, or she's the only one that seems to have that fucking gobble neck.
If that dragon gets taken out, that's what's gonna happen.
I wonder what
It's
that's
gonna
for.
rip that.
If it's for deeping. Never mind.
No, we've talked about it. It's like this scruff on a cat or something like that. It's supposed to be like extra
like the
skin.
lizards have it.
It's like what do you call it? It's supposed to be there for that if they get into a fight. It
helps them swallow their food, and they have nothing. They got no hands to shove it in their mouth.
It's a defense mechanism type of thing.
But I think it also helps to eat, digest things full. Think about it.
Oh, now you know all about the dragons as well as the werewood tree. Yeah.
Yeah, and dragons too.
He's a dragon master now.
I'm gonna be I'm a dragon lord. Get it right, damn it.
Oh.
But
yeah, Dunkin' Egg next year. That's right. Or as JT called them earlier,
no.
Dunkin's Egg. What did you call it?
He was talking. Yeah, he said something.
I thought it was an egg. I thought it was an actual egg they're talking about.
JT's like, let's not forget about Dunkin's Egg, the show coming out next.
Yeah, where everyone gets free coffee and donuts for the year.
There you go.
Protector of the plot. Yes.
It's gonna be your name now on the show here. The 7 episodes.
I'm gonna take a picture of this. I'm gonna
Oh, it's on YouTube.
No,
now,
honestly, yeah, we'll have to clip this. No, honestly, Christina's done a great job. Honestly, you've done an excellent job with the note taking here on the show here.
I wish my grammar was better because I take 21 pages of notes.
Jay, I had 17, so like we're not far off.
No, but it feels like
mine are just a bunch of yellow sticky notes.
He could just
wow.
You say one thing and he crosses off a whole section.
I've gotten pretty good at just riffing off of like small pieces of things. Yeah.
Look, that's just this episode alone. I wonder what next one is going to bring.
Yes. So we did talk about this earlier, guy. Yeah, you may have missed the very start of the episode. We actually gave it up to JT with his tree obsession. We saw that they had mentioned this on the internet this week that George R.R. Martin's face was actually drawn on the tree in Harrenhal's as a nod to him. Essentially, that was really cool.
Yeah, that's why I like the trees. It looks like my face can be on a tree like that. Look at it. Look at his face.
See,
just picture.
He even messed up on this one. You wrote TJ. You write every comment 3 times and still mess it up. You're good.
Okay, yeah.
You're forever TJ. There you go.
Oh.
No, it's all good. Well, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Honestly, it was nice to see the similar names here in the comments here, guys. Yeah. We really appreciate it. And yeah, give it up to Christina, who's done a great job with taking the notes here. And this has been a lot of fun.
Effort. I love doing this. This has been tons of fun. It's all a joint effort. I couldn't do this without you guys. I wouldn't do this without you guys, literally. So
no, there you go. Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it as well. It has been a lot of fun, and thank you for joining us through all these episodes. It's been a great
putting
time.
Up with us. Fuck. Well, me at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Get ready for next season though. Dunkin's Egg.
You fuck off.
Followed by
doubles for all.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Guy. I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. Yeah. We really enjoy the comments. It's always fun. It's always fun to see some people chatting it up. fans of the show here in the comments. So thank you for coming back.
I'm not spoiling it.
And yeah, remember, guys out there, like and subscribe if you've yet to do so. Anybody who ends up checking out this video. And we'll be back next week, same time, same place. Well, we did 9:30 start today. I think we'll be going to do it and try for 9 p.m. next week. But
yeah,
just check the YouTube in case we change the time. We will have a posted live link up there. But next week, we will be doing the finale of the season. Very much looking forward to that. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Sad to see it go, but we'll be back. We'll be back with some more Game of Thrones at some point in the future. As
4 days and counting for the
about
season finale, bro.
If Jay has his way, he's going to try to parlay this into some other sort of TV type of show talk. But I'm trying to keep that at bay right now. We'll see what happens.
I know.
I'm still into the late night book club. Like,
well, there you go. Well, listen, we could do the late night book club for Game of Thrones, but it's really up to this guy. I'm game. I have the books. I have the books. I have the books. I just haven't read them. I own all of them. I'm down to read it.
I bet you do somewhere in here.
No, it's not in here, but
I was gonna say somewhere around
yeah,
here.
that's right. Yes, click the bell because that's the notification bell, which will notify you when the shows go live. Appreciate it, Lazy. I thank you. All right. So anything else? Anything else anybody wants to add?
No, I don't know what's gonna happen next episode. I'm nervous. Like I said, I don't think it's gonna end with a fight. I mean, I think it's gonna end and it's gonna leave us for fucking 2.
There's gonna be a fight at Harrenhal. That's my prediction. There's gonna be a fight in Harrenhal.
No, you're gonna figure out
end the
something.
season.
It's gonna be all a Harrenhal next season.
No, oh god, no.
Yeah, next episode. Sorry, next episode. It's gonna be all Harrenhal next episode, just for Nico.
Yeah, it would be fun.
Fine. It just needs to be done. It needs to be done.
I agree with Christina. It would be fun.
Fuck, it would take me a year just to read the first book.
It would take us some time to come back and talk about each book, though, for sure. But you could do the audio book too, Jay.
Well, I know.
I mean, that's an option, right? But anyways, all right. Well, that's gonna do it for this week, everyone. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, everybody.
We'll see you next week, next Wednesday. Like I said, it should be at 9 p.m. But hit the notification bell. Make sure you like and subscribe. And we'll see you all next week. Thank you to everybody that came through in the chat here today.
Yeah.
And 90 episodes of Watching the Throne. Check out the playlist if you want to see previous conversations. Me, Jay, Christina was on a whole bunch of them. And we've had some other guests come on as well. So yeah, check it out. It's been a lot of fun.
Yep.
And looking forward to next week. Honestly, it's gonna be great. What song should we go out on? Should we do the
Rhaenyra's?
Yes. I don't know what it's called though. Yeah.
Yes. I'm so glad you asked that question because I was gonna say, I was like, can we play Rhaenyra's song?
Or should I put out the other song that I seen on the internet recently where she now that we have a Rastafarian Targaryen. Did you ever hear about this?
Oh my god, here we go.
Have you never seen this?
No.
Okay, now I have to play it. Hold on. 1 second.
Oh my gosh.
You've never seen this?
No.
Okay, this is from Game of Thrones.
Nico just spends a lot of time on fucking internet.
No, it was on Instagram, on YouTube. I saw this floating around recently. You've never seen this? All right, hold on. I do spend a lot of time on
a computer, period.
I'm a Rastafari Targaryen.
Yeah, it's Daenerys. The actress is singing it. It's I think it was a joke teaser. It was supposed to be for something.
It must be
Emilia Clarke. It's called Coldplay's Game of Thrones the musical. It says on here. I don't know what that's all about, but hold on, I'll play it. It's from a video of something. I don't know if that's just what this video says. There we go. Okay, hold up. I'll put it on the screen here.
Oh, shit.
Hopefully we can share this. It's from YouTube, so don't block it.
We love you, YouTube.
Yeah.
Come on. Just let
Prouder to be in anything. I always knew it was going to be a triumph. George R. Martin meets Chris Martin. What could go wrong? Game of what now?
See you later next week, guys.
I'm a Rastafarian, Targaryen. I got some dragons and they're very scary. And been here and there and then I've been everywhere again. Rastafarian, Targaryen. Call me the nearest Targaryen. When you wanna reach me and feel the love, that you can call me Khaleesi. Got so many names. I'm Queen of the Andals, Queen of the Marine. Yeah, you can kiss me sandals.
Yes, that exists. Maybe not politically correct these days. I don't know.
Oh my god.
Who are we to say that happened? Apparently, that was posted 9 years ago. You never seen that?
I have never seen that.
9 years ago, he probably could have got away with it, man. That's coming down from our thing. I bet you. I wouldn't doubt it.
So yeah, that's a thing. There you go. She had a bit too much milk of that of the poppy.
Oh.
All right,
Oh my
guys.
God.
We'll put on the Rhaenyra theme though.
I love the internet sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I hate it for that reason. It's gonna keep me. It's gonna keep me saying the wrong things all the time, man. That's what's gonna
What
do.
happens in Marine stays in Marine.
Yeah, no shit.
All right, everyone. We'll see you next week once again. There you go. Later, everyone.